Okay.
Thank you so much, Esther. I really appreciate. All right. Good morning, everyone. How
Good
was your
morning.
night? Thank you, Esther. Guys, unmute. Tell me good morning. Chat, Pale. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Befale. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, wanaume mmejaza base hapa ndani. We need ladies to neutralize the base.
Good morning, Joy.
Good morning, Basil. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Nicodemus. Good morning, Gideon.
Government announced this program. Basil, you're talking about how
Evans,
Joy.
good morning. Evans, good morning.
so the part
Good
where
morning.
is the belief that
All right. Good morning, Felix. We are not very happy, but we accept and move on. Exactly, Felix. We said it's a rite of passage. We all are born and we will all leave this world at some point. So, for those who are mourning, we are very sorry. We are standing with you guys and the family. And we also continue to build our lives because that's more important. Cindy. So, I am happy that everyone is good this good morning. Kind of chilly here in Nairobi. I don't know about the other places. But let's today we'll just go ahead and start learning as early as at now. So we have quite a long day. So I'll just go ahead and start with my notes. So I'll be a bit brief. Actually, some of the things that we are doing today, I accidentally passed on them yesterday without knowing that this is what we should be learning. Brian, let me even open my video, see the way I am serious. Brian, mmeona holiday?
Ni
Brian,
holiday, Joy. Shida ni holiday.
Shida ni holiday na hamwendi mazishi eh?
Tenda.
Read. It's a very serious face, Felix. I am very serious. Yes, Elras, I'm very, very serious, right? Na tafadhali wenye wanaenda mazishi, msibebe sufuria, msibebe kuku, msibebe ng'ombe eh? Sio kwetu. We are not going to our home, unfortunately. Mazishi sio yetu. Hakuna kuitisha hata second round. All right, let me just get my notes opened. Today we are working with the Linux file system. Kindly go ahead, open the working with the Linux file system. And also, we're just going to do today's class for the morning. For this working with Linux file system is quite short. So just go ahead, open your labs. Please open your labs. Let's get started. All right, my lab is almost up. If your lab is up, start the lab. Today we are going deep dive into the practicals. I'm going to send you short notes for yesterday and today. For today, it's just a list of commands that we are learning. We went through them yesterday. Patrick gave us some, and I also went through some. All right, if your lab is up, let me know so that we dive deep. So the lab is lab 233, working with Linux, working with the file system. All right, lab 233. Everybody be there with me. Second what? Silent, very nice. I agree at least. Amy, ni venye watu hapa wananichekesha. So I hope your lab 233 is up. If it is up, let me know. Start your labs. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. And let you know the commands that we will be going through. Kindly open your lab 233. All right, so today we are going to be learning about some of the commands that we have. Guys, your friends are not here. Kindly welcome them. Welcome them to the class. Let me have my power on. Just a second. All right. So today we'll be doing a little bit of the Linux commands. And for this lab, we are going to check on this. So remember yesterday, during our lab in the afternoon, we went ahead. Let me just add this up. All right, I hope you can hear me clearly. Oh,
So you have some
okay.
background noise.
I have some background noise.
It's not you. Let me see. Yeah, there's some background noise.
All right. As I figure this out, before we start our lesson, can I get someone to pray for us? Anyone? Someone please pray for us. Ama, I choose. All right. Brian Mahale, pray for us today.
Okay.
Brian, please pray for us. You're unmuted. We can't hear you.
Hello, Joy. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, let's pray. God, we come before you this morning. Accept it with that process. We pray that whatever you need to learn, going to put it into obedience. In the name of, in the name of, the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. All right. So let's dive deep into our class this morning. All right, so today we'll be going through a few of the commands. Benson, Kiprono, your video is on. So some of the commands that we have, today we're going to check on the most common commands that you'll be interacting with in your day-to-day you can use in Linux. And you might need not cram, but practice on them. They are quite easy. For example, here we have ls, which stands for list, right? We have rm, which stands for remove, or rather delete. You see the way, if in Windows you want to delete a file, say you have a Microsoft Word document and you want to delete it, you just right click and then you go to delete and then it goes to the trash bin. So on the terminal, we just write rm to remove a file, and rmdir, we use it to delete an empty folder. And we said a folder in Linux, we call them directories. All right. Then we have cd. CD means you change directory. So it's like you move from desktop, you go to documents. So you're going to CD documents. It will take you to the document, to the directory that you want. And then we also saw this, we saw PWD, and we said it's print working directory. Show me where I am right now. So if you're in Windows, there's this I don't know what you call it, but there's up there on a folder, you see like where you are. It shows you like /home/desktop, right? So as if we want to see where we are in, because we do not have a graphical user interface, we just type pwd and we can be able to see where we are at, right? For this, I remember Patrick went through them yesterday. So we have top, and top shows you the first 10 displays real-time information about running processes, CPU, and memory usage. And grep also, Patrick went through it yesterday. It's for searching and matching text patterns. So you might want to grep is for like you want to see something specific, so it's going to actually give you this something specific that you want to see. And we have less. So less and more, we saw them yesterday. So let's say you have a list of information or something going on your screen, and you can't scroll up or down. So it gives you a few things on your screen that you want to see. It's just like the way if in like Facebook comments or Instagram comments or even TikTok, on the screen, you can view part of the comment, and then there's written see more. When you click see more, it gives you the entire paragraph, right? But if you click see less, it reduces the paragraph. So it's the same thing that we have right here on Linux. Then we have CP. CP is just to copy, right? Copy, CP. So you see, like the commands are quite easy to understand. We have head and tail. Head and tail, we were told that head displays the first few lines, the first 10 lines. Tail displays the last 10 lines, okay? That we were taught yesterday. And then we have mkdir. So mkdir is make directory. So if you're in Windows, the way you go to right click and then new folder, and then you give it a name, right? And then enter. As we just write mkdir and then the folder name. So for example, in this example, we have we want to make a directory called projects, and it's going to create a folder for you called projects. All right. Then move. 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 It's the way that you'd what do you call it in Windows? If you want to move a folder, say from your desktop, you take it to your downloads. We'd use the same for Linux. And also, funny, interesting thing is that we use the command move to rename a file. So, for example, say my file name was called old.txt. For me to rename it, I just write mv old.txt space new.txt. It will be renamed to the new name that I want. All right. Sawa. So without further ado, let's go through the lab. I hope everyone's lab is up and running. If yours is up and running, kindly let me know. The lab is lab 233. Very nice, Nicodemus. Very nice, Brian, Anthony, Alphas. Very nice. Silas, good stuff. Gideon, ladies walisema wataitungeleshea. Thank you, Justin. Very nice, Ridge. So let's go ahead and create an EC2 instance. Who is Lenovo? My goodness. We know you have a machine, but kindly rename yourself. Right? Amy Adilo amecheka. Oh, very nice. All right. So let me just share my entire screen because right, here's my lab. I already started my lab. Just click start lab to give you an additional time. AWS. Oh, my video is off. All right. So we are in our console. We are in our console. First things first, create an EC2 instance. Right now it should be in your fingertips. So launch instance. I want each one of us to move with me, so please do. Right, so let's call our instance today. Let's just call it list. I am not in my creative space, so list. The name of the EC2 instance, we will call it list. I need to remove. All right. If you have the PEM or PPK files from yesterday, just delete them so that we get, all right, very nice. I don't have any. All right, so the name of our EC2 instance is list. We're going to leave the OS as default and the instance type as default. We're going to create a new key pair. And we're going to call it, let's just use this name that's here, labs user, so that let's just call it labs user. So if you're in Windows.ppk, if you're in Linux or Mac, PEM file. So create your key pair. It's downloaded. Let's go to network settings. We choose the lab created for us, lab VPC, and ensure that we can SSH. So automatically we are given rights to SSH. So yes, and then everything else, leave it as default. Then you launch your instance. So if your instance is up, let me know kindly. All right, so today we have a few things going on, but it's okay. All right. So our instance is up and running. Go to your instances and you'll find your list with it's running, right? So just click on it and you can view your all right, so let's just do this. So open your terminal. We are going to SSH into our instance. So first things first, we change mode for those in Linux. We change mode to a read-only file. Oh, sorry. I'm not in my downloads. And then we change mode to labsuser.pem and we come and SSH into our EC2 instance. By now it should be fluid. It should be flowing with it. So take your public IP address. Wait, what? Let me copy this one more time. For address and paste it right here. And SSH into our server if you are there. Are you guys there? Let me know. Have SSH, just type SSH. Right, Kiprona, Brian, very nice. Let's go ahead and learn a few of the commands that we have. All right, so let me just close this. Allow me to save my bandwidth kidogo and let's see. First things first, what you can do, everybody just type ls. Tell me what's coming. And I'd prefer if you guys unmuted. Let me just join class with here. All right, guys, what has come in your ls? Who has typed ls?
Recording in progress.
So who has typed ls? Hiya, people, where are you? Nothing. All right. Then, guys, type ls dash al. All right, Nicodemus, type ls dash al. What do you guys see there? ls dash al. So ls space dash al. ls space dash al. All right, so when you do this, you are bound to see a few things. For example, let me just open this. All right, so you are bound when you do ls-a, it will show you. Remember yesterday when a few of us had swap files and the swap files came as say dot hello world swp. So you see, like these files, they are starting with dots, right? That's why when a file is starting with a dot in Linux, it is automatically hidden. That's why when we did ls, we did not see anything, we saw nothing. But when we did ls-a, so the -a, it showed us the hidden files. And then -l, it gives us a long list, a long format of our files. So it gives us the permission. We can just do them separately. So just type clear, CLEA, and type ls-a only. And you are going to see just the hidden files, all the files plus the hidden files. All right. And when you type ls-l, it will give you, let's just use ls-al because we do not have any files. We can see the permissions. All right. The permissions given to each of the file. And don't worry about permissions. We are going to get back to them in a few. All right. I hope that's clear. All right, if you're good with list, so let's do this. Let's create a directory. So just type clear, and let us make a folder, mkdir. So mkdir is make directory, mkdir space, and let's name our folder. What do we name it? Let's name it Learnly. So learn ly. So mkdir Landly. If you have your folder, let me know. All right, so if you have a folder, let me know. The command is mkdir Landly. When you do this, you're making a folder called Landly. You're making a directory called Landly. So if you ls, you are going to see a directory, Landly. Let's go ahead and make a file. Remember yesterday we were creating files, right? So, and I taught you a few ways to create files. You can use v, file name, nano, file name, or touch, file name. Those are the three commands that you can use to create a file, all right? So today, let's just use touch. We can use touch and say info.txt. Let's create a text file called info. So touch space info.txt. Who is there? If you are there, let me know.
Hello, Joy.
Yes.
I'm
Very
sorry,
nice.
I'm kind of behind. Niko hapa kwa nishafungua hii window sasa ya kuweka commands, but mmeipea jina gani? Nilikuwa na configure hiyo installment ya put kwanza.
All right. So uko kwa command gani?
Niko hapa kwa login as. As in, which name did you, as in mimi natumia Windows, so
All right.
nilikuwa nauliza ni jina gani mmepea. Kama jana ilikuwa EC2 user.
Hata
So,
leo.
leo
Kwa
pia.
sababu, yes. Okay, guys. So when you're SSHing to AWS, hata ukiwa na your own personal account, users wa inakwanga tu ni hiyo EC2-user. Always, always, always. Sawa sawa.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Karibu. So guys, if you have your directory Landly and you have a file called txt, let me know. If you do not have, kindly type on the chat. We know where you are. Very nice. Okay. So who is not there? Yes, Salem, thank you so much. For anyone using Amazon Linux, the user will always be EC2-user. All right, so who's left behind? Sawa. So because we are all here, let's just go ahead and so we've created a directory using the mkdir command, and we called it Landly. And we created a file called info.txt. So if you do ls to list, you are going to see your info.txt and you are going to see your directory Landly. And directories will always be colored, all right? Directories will always be colored. So now we can do ls-l because we have something in our instance. And you can see we have first the permissions. We are given the permissions, we're given the user, we're given the date, we are given the time, and we are given the document name. All right. So ls-l is for a long format. All right. You want to see what permissions are granted to this folder and who created this folder, what time, when did they create it, all right, and what's the name. And if we do ls space dash al, we are going to see the permissions. It's going to list the permissions. It's going to list the users. For example, like right here, we have a root. You see, we have a root user now, and we can see the time it was created, and we can see all the files, including the hidden files and the files that we created for ourselves. So guys, that's all you need to know in list. Sawa sawa. So now I hope you've understood everything about list. List is the way you open a folder and you get a list of all the, in Windows, you get a list of all the files and folders and images, everything that's there that you get. You see them right there. So us, we have to type this command ls to be able to see. And if there are hidden files that you want to see, we ls-al. All right. So let's go to the other command. We have more,
Joy,
right? Yes.
na list LA hyphen LM zinatumika interchangeably na LS hyphen L ama LS hyphen LM.
Ati, come again.
Nimetaipa hapa kwa chat ni LS hyphen LA, like zinatumika interchangeably ukisema LS hyphen A instead ya LS hyphen LA.
Haya, tumesema ls ni ya kulist. Sawa. Haya, ukifanya ls dash a ina list hidden files. Sawa. Alafu tumesema ls dash l ina list long format. Sawa. So you get permissions and the person who created, permissions, the user, time and date, and file name. All right, you can use them together as ls space dash al. All right.
Like huwezi tumia LS LA na ukiinterchange LS LA instead ya LS AL.
Ebu interchange kwako utuambie.
Nime interchange zinawaka, inaonyesha.
Haya, sawa sawa. All right. Now let's move. I want us to learn most of the commands that we'll be using oftenly. So let's go to the CP, all right? Let's go to the copy. So copy, we said copy, the command is CP, all right? And we want to copy, for us, we have a file called info.txt. We'd like to copy this file to Landly. So let's do that. Sawa. So let's cp info.txt and then Landly. And then you can ls, you'll find your info.txt. So this is the code cp. Oh, sorry, I forgot we do not control C over here. This is a command to copy. So we are copying the info.txt into our folder Landly, into our directory Landly. All right, let's see what happens. So I want us to go to change directory to Landly. So we will cd change directory, cd Landly. We move to Landly. And as you can see here, I am in the folder, in the directory called Landly. When you go to Landly, ls right there, and you're going to see your info.txt. So it was copied here. All right. That's how we copy files. Okay. All right. So now we want to go back to the folder that we were in. Remember yesterday Patrick told us we do cd space dot dot, all right? Cd space dot dot. It will take you to your previous folder. And if you ls, you're going to see your info.txt and your Landly, all right? So now that we are here, let me know if you are with me. Who is with me today? Up to this point. Awesome. I hope no one is left behind. Very nice, very nice. I hope no one has been left behind. Very good, Ridge. Okay, so now that we are back to our original folder, I want us to remove this original info.txt. And to remove a file, we do rm and then info.txt. So we want to rm to remove info.txt. Enter and ls. You'll realize that we do not have Landly, that we do not have info.txt. All right. So that's how you delete a file. All right. That's how you delete a file. You just rm. Okay. Now, let's try and delete a folder. Remember that we said we delete a folder using rmdir. Sindio? So we are going to write rmdir and we are going to write Landly. And we are told that it has failed to remove Landly because the directory is not empty. So for us to remove a directory, a folder that is not empty, we cannot use rmdir. So because we want to know how to delete a folder, let's go ahead and create a fake folder, mkdir, and we can call it trash. And we can call it trash. So guys, create a folder, create a mkdir space trash, call it trash. And then now let's do rmdir. We want to now remove, make mkdir is to make directory. You're creating, you're making. rmdir, you're removing, remove directory. So rmdir, let's remove trash. Because trash was empty, we did not have anything in trash, we are going to actually realize that it is no longer there. It's been deleted. All right. So let's imagine. So I want to know if you guys are there with me first and foremost. If you're with me, who is left behind? Has anyone been left behind? All right, very nice. Very nice. All right, I'm happy that no one has been left behind. Let me see. We are good. Very nice. All right, so now let's imagine that we want to delete the folder Landly. Remember, Landly has our text file, Sindio. So Landly has our text file and we want to remove it. And we've been told that we cannot use rmdir to remove a folder that is not empty. So how to do that? We do rmdir and then we use space -r. And this allows you to delete a folder that is not empty. So rmdir -r, and then we are going to remove Landly. Let's see if it's going to work. All right, I've been told to use 2 hyphens. Why is mine not working? Oh, sorry. It's actually RM. Where? Sorry, guys. It's not RMDIR. I am so sorry. It's actually RM remove dash R and then Landly. So, and no space. So RM remove dash R Landly. So this code right here enables you to remove a folder, a directory with all its content. So let's say that you want to delete your thank you, Salem. So let's imagine that you want to remove your directory that, say, like right now, I know you guys, your downloads folder has stuff, right? You want to remove your downloads folder. So in Linux, you just type rm and it has stuff, right? It has your files in it. So if you want to delete all of it, you do rm-r landly and it is going to delete. So if you list, let's say if we list, there is nothing because we have now deleted all the things that we had. Okay, so we can clear our workspace and let's create a new folder. Let's just call it Landly again, mkdir Landly. And let's create also our text file. So touch, and then info.txt. So let's just go ahead and create our Landly folder in our info.txt. All right, and move on to MV. So all the other commands we've looked at, apart now from MV, and then we can go for the 38 minutes, we can go to our labs, we can do our lab, all right? And remember to start your timer. Start lab. All right. So let's say if you ls, you are going to see your info.txt and Landly, right? The Landly folder. So we want to move, not to copy, want to move info.txt from our home to Landly. So what we are going to do, we are just going to type mv and then info.txt. So mv space info.txt space and then to the folder that we want it to go to, which is Landly. All right, so we want to move our info text file to Landly. That's exactly what that command means, like, okay? So when you enter and you ls, you will not see info.txt here. So let's cd into Landly. Let's change directory into Landly. And ls, we are going to see our info.txt. Okay? Have you guys understood that? Let me see. Have you guys understood that? Have you moved your text files? Very nice. Very nice. So now let's say now we want to awesome. So guys, let's imagine that we want to rename our info.txt to what name can I use here? To file info to, I want to rename info.txt into and rename it to file.txt. So what we are going to do, remember guys, I told you that to rename, we just use the MV, all right? But this time, we are going to write info.txt, or let's just add something into the info so that you get to understand that, you get to see that it is the same file. So just v into info.txt. Watu wa Nano, you can shine. V into info.txt, and I, to go to insert mode, just write your name. So I'm going to write my name right here. And today, October the 16th. All right. We said after insert, and you want to exit, just escape, and then shift ZZ or capital ZZ. All right. So my info.txt has content, and I want to rename it to file.txt. All right. So what we're going to do, we are going to write mv info.txt, and then space more mv space info.txt space, we want to recall it file.txt. Enter. When you do that and you ls, you're going to realize that your info.txt has been renamed to file.txt. We can use a command called cat to read through a file without having to open it. So what are Windows? You see the way sometimes there's a way I've seen like there's a way when you open, like not even just opening, you go to a folder and say there's this Word document and you do not want to open it, you just click on it kidogo, and then on the right pane, it shows you contents of that document. So us, instead of now doing that, because we cannot do that, what we do, we cut. So I want to see the contents of file.txt without really having to open V or Nano. Okay, so what we do, we use cut, and then we cut file name, so file.txt. And then I can see exactly what I typed here. So cut enables you to see contents of a file without really having to open them, all right? If you are good, let me know so that we can move unyo kwa unyo hadi kwa labs. Very nice, very nice. So guys, quick fire. Answers ni za Kideri. Somebody to unmute. Yeah, very good, Rich. Salem, I can see you shared something. Aya guys, unmute. Kila mtu unmute. Tujibu answers za Kideri. Okay. Let me stop sharing my entire screen ndio niwaone vizuri. All right. Evans, Brian, Benson, Belinda, unmute. We answer. Guys, what's the command to go to another folder? I'm in one folder, I want to go to another folder. What's the command?
CD.
Change directory on CD. Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Answers for Githeri. I want to know the files that I have in a particular directory. What do? I just want to see them.
LS.
Very nice. But now, as I'm seeing them, I want to see the permissions they have. What command do I use? Very nice, Salem. ls-l, long format, all right? Remember, long format gives you the permissions, the person who created it, the date, and the time. All right. Answers ni za Githeri. I want I have a file called Justin. I want to rename it to Evans. Somebody give me the whole code. I have a file called Justin. I want to rename it to Evans. Very nice, Salim. Everyone else, where are you?
MV
Eh?
Justin to Evans.
Yes, very nice. Okay, so to rename, use MV. Hi, I want to create a folder called Salem. What's the code? And now from a lady. Acha nitaje majina. Ivy, I want to create a folder called Salem. What's the code? Rich tumesema ni ya madem. Yes, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Priscilla. All right. I want to, it's okay. I want to delete the folder Salem, but inside it has a text file called justin.txt. What do I use? Answers, Sakideri? You all seen thumbs up. Yes, RM-R Salem. Very nice people. Fan and Amy. If I just type that, sitaweza kudelete kenye nataka. So you have to specify the folder name. Right, so guys, thank you for that. Nimeona at least mmeshika. Yeah, sawa. So let's go ahead and do our lab quick fast, and let me see. Ama you guys, you do it by yourself. It's not like kitu ngumu. It's just for creating folders. Hizi zote tumepitia. Mwalimu Patrick, what do you think?
Yes, Joy. By the way, the labs, the lab that accompanies what you've just taught, by the way, that was a very good class. So the labs that the lab that follows is quite simple, quite straightforward. Mnaonaje, mnataka kujifanyia?
Wacha wajifanye juu kesho ni holiday na mi najua si wote wanaenda Nyanza.
Hawataenda mazishi. Hawataenda mazishi. Okay. Na mfanye labs, by the way. Mkiambiwa mfanye labs, tafadhali fanyeni labs. Joy.
All right, sawa.
Justin anasema ati ako bus station tayari.
Justin. Umefanya aje RM-R Justin? Ninakuonea vipi sasa?
Utamwaga unga, unataka tukumaka absent. Okay.
All right. So guys, kindly do that lab. It's quite easy. Laptop unatoa wapi stima? Bus station. Umesema na lapi? Nawaona. I am seeing you. Ati wapi? All right. So guys, let's take a 10 minutes break. We meet each other here at 10 sharp. Mmeenda vyo. Kwa hivyo hamko class. Sisi tuko hapa na RMDIR, nyinyi mko viewing. Wacha mtu apumzike. So do we do the lab in the break or after break? So the break is for 10 minutes and we'll meet here at 10 a.m. and we'll have another lesson. And then after the lesson, we are going to do both the cases and then we're going to break for lunch. The labs, I think you should get your own time to do it by yourself because it's everything that we've gone through. So see you at 10 a.m. guys. Welcome, guys, from the break. Karibuni, karibuni. If you're here, let me know. Just type hi on the chat so that I know who is here. Hi, Justin. Hi, Gail. Hi, Fan. Hi, Mary. Oh, wow. I'm happy today the ladies are leading. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Amy. Very nice. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. Hi, Nicodemus. Hi, Frank. All right. Hi, Felix. Hi, Salem. Who else is here? If you're here and you've not typed hi, kindly type hi, Befalene. Hi, Prudence. Prudence, how was the morning class? Did you understand the commands? Hi, Mark. Hi, Purity. Prudence, did you understand the commands? You did not. Prudence, where I'll share with you the command list that I was working on. Then I'm going to share Pokwa group. Just keep on practicing. I know in the lab you're going to understand more. But if you don't understand somewhere, kindly let us know before we leave class, all right? We are here because of you guys. All right. Patrick, are you around?
Hi, Joy. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Are you still recording?
Yes, it's being recorded.
So we can do the morning session as one recording together.
Yes.
And then afternoon, okay, awesome. So I just had to confirm that. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. I believe it's still morning. Yes, it is morning. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you've enjoyed the first class we've had. And so we are going to move on to the next class. Prudence usikwe na wasiwasi. These commands utazishika. We are here to help you guys. We'll even go to an extent of giving you guys support notes. Abby, are you around? Abby, yuko area. Okay. So what we will do, because I don't want to mark any of you absent in the morning class, maybe watu bado wameenda bado wanatafuta chai, I will mark the register for the morning session after I'm done with delivering the content. So let me share my screen. Oh, Esther, kindly enable screen sharing for me, and screen sharing for me.
That Patrick, try again.
Afternoon class.
Yes, why not, Mark?
Ameuliza nini sijasikia?
Yeah, we having an afternoon class, of course, yes.
Yes, we do. Okay. What we just had to do, we had to cover some of the things that we had to cover today. But again, we just discovered that what we are doing is actually brief. So we are not overwhelming you guys with content, and then you have all that time, the whole of tomorrow, the whole of Sato. But Monday is a holiday. You know that, eh? See, Monday is 20th. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, so Monday ni holiday. So you guys have a long a long time for you guys just to catch up. And someone was telling me that there's a possibility Tuesday is also a holiday. Where? So,
Why?
but your Tuesday will need to confirm. Story na Waindi. It is one of those the holidays, but we will know. We will know. So don't operate on rumors. We'll communicate to you, but at least we know that Monday is an official holiday. No.
So do we have a lesson tomorrow? Lesson tomorrow,
Vacation?
sorry.
No, tomorrow no. Tomorrow is an off day for you guys. Ati awesome. Nani hapendi class?
Brian alikuwa anatafuta mandazi. Brian, tosheka na mandazi ya breakside.
Watu unanibamba ati awesome. Kwanza huyo amesema kwa nguvu. Awesome.
So na nini na quiz kila wiki tuko nazo ama haziko for this week?
Oh, you mean the assessment, the assessment. So the way we have structured the assessments, we do assessments after every module. So right now tunafanya module ya Linux. You will only do an assessment after we are done delivering the whole module. No. So hatujamalizana na Linux, so bado. I don't see us having an assessment this week. Cynthia Joy.
Yes, actually itakuwa on we are finishing on Linux in or is it on let me just check for you on Wednesday. Hapo ndio watakuwa na assessment.
Awesome.
And
Cool,
itakuwa
cool.
practical.
Wonderful. I like it because most of the things that we are teaching is actually practical. You guys need to interact, or what we used to be told during our day. Kwa restart, tulikuwa tunaambiwa talk to the terminal. Talk to the terminal. You see, when you say PWD, present working directory, you're talking to the terminal, you're keying in the commands. So that was a very interesting and enriching class that we've had this morning. So good morning once more, and we are going straight into our class. So we are going to jump into the next module, and the next module that we are covering is working. In the morning, we've done working with the Linux file system, right? So now we are going to do a closely related module called working with files in Linux. Working with files in Linux. So that's what we are going to do right about now. So let me share my notes. Penyeziko. Okay. Cool. So, So let me know from you guys if you can see my screen. A thumbs up, a vocalized thingy will be good.
I can see.
Yes, we are.
You can see?
Yes, Patrick, we can see
Yeah.
it.
Okay, cool. So thank you guys. So we are now going to talk about working with files in Linux, and so I'll be shifting between a couple of windows here. Let me just minimize, reduce some of them. What's here? That's the lab. Okay. So the lab that we'll be doing for this session is lab 235. So for those when you're Andika, the labs that you're supposed to complete by the time we meet on Tuesday, the next lab that you'll be doing related to this class is lab 235. And I had already started the lab myself on my end. So let me just start it again so that my timer is reset. It's a very straightforward lab. I've looked at it, and I know that by the end of this class, you guys will be able to do it. And today I'm going to start from Ukumusho to Kianda Mwanzo, just to walk you through what you are going to see. Like in this lab, we'll be talking about working with files. Joy has shown you how to create files in Linux, so making a directory, then inside that file, you can do VI, you can do Vim, you can do Nano, whichever you prefer, or you can do touch and create a file. So touch creates a file that has no content written to it. Then you can open that file with any editor and then write something inside the file. You can write anything inside the file, like say, this is my first file, or you can even write a lot of content inside a file. And files, as you guys know, regardless of the operating system that you use, files come in different extensions. Am I sharing my screen? Am I sharing? Is my video on? My video needs to be on. Just a sec. Oh, it's not. So let me go on video. That is me. Huyo ndio mimi. And so, yes. So I was saying, using touch, you create a file that does not have any content. It's just an empty file, but it is still a file anyway. And mostly files are found inside folders. So Joy has shown us how to create folders using the make directory command. Then I was just mentioning that when it comes to creating files, we use a number of commands, and some of these commands come with their text editors, as in it calls a text editor. Like if you use touch, I've told you touch creates an empty file. VI will create a file, and this file you can actually open it because VI, Vim, and Nano, and the likes of Emacs are all text editors which you can now use to write into that file. You can write any content into the file. Then I've just mentioned that files come in different extensions. Regardless of your operating system, you can have files in different extensions. Like we have text files with .txt extension. We have Excel files. Let me call them Excel or spreadsheets coming with the extension .csv. And then we have other files, other different types of files like PowerPoint.ppt, yeah, like that. So there are many extensions, files con extensions support. Now, here, when we are talking about working with files in Linux, sometimes the files that we are using are actually systems files. And I told you yesterday that in the process of time, say you have taken up a role as, say, a systems administrator, you might need to check how your system is doing. And I told you, when a system is running, when the Linux system is running, for example, let's say your server is based on Linux and it is running, it generates a lot of logs. So logs are used to record different things that are happening within the system at any given time. So as these logs are being recorded and being saved in different parts of your system, sometimes maybe you discover that your system is slow, or in the unfortunate event, your system crashes, and now you are in the troubleshooting phase. Instead of you now having to scratch your head or starting to look for the proverbial needle in a haystack, commands will help you. Commands will help you to get exactly what you are looking for. If you're looking for a file in a specific place, you'll be able to find that file, or you'll be able to find the string that shows you the problem that is with your system in a very short time. So this is important for you guys, both of the guys, anyone that is entering cloud, because again, we told you that the cloud operates with servers, and most of these servers are actually run with Linux. That is why Linux is very important. It's very important for you to master the things that we are delivering to you in terms of the different aspects of Linux. And today, as I've just said, again, we are going to deal with working with files. So the lab that you guys will be doing today, has the following objectives. So in this lab, you will create a backup file for an entire folder structure using tar, T-A-R. Then log the creation of the backup in a file with the date, time, file name of the backup file, and then you can transfer the backup file to another folder. You see that? You can transfer that backup file, the file that you've backed up, to another folder. And so there are many reasons why people do that. The lab itself, they're saying here it's 30 minutes. And then, of course, this is common to all labs. These steps are common to all labs. Then the first task, kama kawaida, once you have created, remember we are creating an instance because the original instance provided for us has issues. So we'll be creating an instance. And I just noted here that our PPK has changed name. We are no longer just using lab user. We are using labs user. And I saw Joy also noted that during her session. So that was good. So again, we've also done this task over and over again. And I believe repetition is for the purposes of emphasis and also for you guys to be able to master. So if you are new, I believe we have some new guys. We have some new guys that are with us that actually have joined us today, and another one joined us sometime last week. Towards the end of the week or beginning of this week. So karibuni sana. and we will help you guys catch up. We'll help you guys catch up. So I'm saying for this first step, it's very easy and very direct. By now, you guys should be good with that. Kama uko na shida bado hapo, just consult. And na pia pale kwa group, we shared a document yesterday with the details of, let's say, how to configure PuTTY for the guys that are on Windows, and I also added the steps for the guys on Mac OS and Linux. And once you do this over and over, it becomes easy. And then now task 2, after we have SSH into our instance, then we'll be told that in this task, you create a backup of an entire file structure. Your work environment has the following folder structure. Following folder structure. So we have company A. Inside company A, we have another directory called employees. Inside employees, we have this file. We have a file called schedules.csv. So this is an Excel file. And then inside company A, again, we have another subdirectory called finance. Inside finance, we have this file called salaries.csv. Then in HR, we have this file. Then again, also in the same HR, we have another file called managers.csv. In IA, we don't have any file. We just have a subdirectory inside company A. And then company A, we have a subdirectory called management. Then inside management, you can see we have promotions.csv, and we have sections.csv. And then company A, again, directly. So when you see company A, we have a file inside company A, inside our main whatever. How do we call it? Inside our main folder or our main directory, we have a file. So we say that file is at the root of our directory, because company A is like our first directory. Then we have subdirectories like employees, finance, HR, IA, and management. I hope that makes sense. So we have been given this here that now shows us inatuonyesha the structure. So ordinarily when we SSH, this is our home directory. This is our home directory, and this is us as user, EC2-user. And then inside it, we create our first directory called company A. Then in company A, we have these subdirectories. You see the subdirectories: employees, finance, HR, HR iko mara mbili, but it's still HR, management, and then you still have HR. So then inside this, you can now see file, and file. You get so that then to ensure that you are in, so you have been given instructions here that first of all, run the present working directory. It's always best practice to run present working directory to know where you are at first before you start doing anything. So present working directory shows you the directory where you are at, and then you continue evo. Joy has told us about the ls command, so you will do that. You see ls is used a couple of times, and then by the end of it all, you will now be able to do cat. So cat, what cat does, the cat command is used to open a file or stuff like that for you to see the content in it, to reveal the content that is in that place. Then task number 4 is about moving. Again, we are starting with present working directory. Then you've seen MV for move. LS is there, and then the lab is complete. So that's why we are telling you that the labs that you guys are doing today are actually pretty direct and pretty simple. So this lab is not complicated, and by the end of today or tomorrow, for KNI 53, and I believe KNI 54 PR, but for KNI 53 specifically, you guys, we will have grouped you into smaller groups, and you will know your groups. It will be in the groups of 5s. So those groups of 5s, you guys are supposed now to start working together. Schedule your own meetings where you can work on your labs together. You can work on your cases together. Start building rapport so that later on, when we are approaching exams, you guys will be able to do what? You guys will be able to do your exams together. You understand? Not exam prep. See, exam together. Exam is kila mtu anajifanyia, but exam prep. So that is something that I also needed to say it here. So let us go to our class. Nimeonyesha lab vile iko, so at least you know. So when we are talking about the tar command, when we are talking about those other commands, together with what we talked about yesterday and what Joy has taught in the morning, you bring these things together. We say knowledge is cumulative. and knowledge builds on itself. That's why we keep on insisting that you guys please do attend classes. Don't miss classes. If you miss a class and there's a recording, it is your responsibility to go back to that recording, look at it. If you don't understand anything, come ask us, ask your peers, ask your group mates, ask your teammates, and then we all grow together and mtu asibaki nyuma. The principle is still leaving no one behind. That is still the principle that you're operating with. It hasn't changed. So let us briefly look at the class notes. I'll be shifting between this and the notes that I have. So in our class today, these are the objectives. So objective number 1, we want to describe the use of hash, CKSUM. CKSUM in full is checksum, checksum, check, kucheck, CHECK, checksum. And then we have find, grep, and diff commands. These are the main commands that you're going to be looking at. And then differentiate hard links from symbolic links, and then compare tar, gzip, and zip commands. So for the hard links and symbolic links, that one we will skip it for now. We'll skip it for now, but it is in your notes. You guys can interact with it. We'll skip it. So we will focus on objective 1 and objective 2 because they are the most relevant at this stage. So if you want to go deeper, into working with files, you look at hard links and symbolic links on your own. You have access to the notes. And then if you have any questions on the same, you can ask, but you are going to interact with them later on downstream as we continue with our course. So tar, gzip, and zip commands, we will try and see what they do. So it is an interesting lesson and a short one. So let us get into it. So the important commands for us to focus on right now is the hash command, the checksum command, the find command, the grep command, and the diff command. Those are the important commands to get to look at. And the very first one, let me open my notes. These notes are important. So I'll be making reference to those notes. Nimezirusha kwa my secondary monitor just to help me to make sure that we flow. But I'll share the notes with you guys at the end of class. So worry not. These are simplified notes. We like using simplified stuff to help you guys understand. So hash command. So the hash command in itself, it displays a list of recently run programs, their location, and the number of times they have run. Information, the information is normally maintained by the command in what we call a hash table. Programmers, you know what hash tables are. Hash tables. Mtu anichaipia hapo kwa chat. What do you understand by the term hash table? Hash table ni nini? And this can be used to reset or modify the hash table. Location information includes the program's full path. But now, for us to understand this thing vizuri, I think it's best that we demonstrate. Nangoja jibu ya hash table. Chaniona, kuna mwenye ameandika hash table ni nini? Thank you, Salem. Yeah, we keep learning. Kila siku tunalearn. You never knew that hash exists as a command. It does. So there is that hash command. I hope guys are in class. I hope I'm on TV hapo kando. Nauliza swali na mnijibu. Hash tables. What is hash tables? Okay, I'm going to read the definition that I've gotten here. So a hash table, yes, Gideon. It is related to data structure. So a hash table is a data structure that stores key value pairs and uses a hash function to efficiently map keys to an array's index for fast lookup, insertion, and deletion. Yachia tu hapo. I'll not even explain that one. Wacha niweke tu hapo. So that ukisikia hash table, just know, jua tu high level, it is a data structure. You know, it's a data structure. Data structure and algorithm is like a full module in its own self when you're doing software development as a course of software engineering. So I'll not belabor into that. But again, for the curious, if you're curious, you can dig deep and go deep. But now, kama kawaida vile mi usema, na mtu anikumbushe 20 minutes from now, I restart my lab. Nisikuwe kicked out. So, kama vile mi usema, sometimes it is important for us to demonstrate so that we can see so that we can see these commands in action. So the first command we've been told is hash, and what hash is supposed to do, what is hash supposed to do even before we run it? Hash is supposed to display a list of recently run programs, their location, and the number of times they have been run. So that is the important bit. That is what I want you guys to get. That's what I want you guys to get. Let me just make this one a bit bigger. Just a bit bigger. Yeah, that's good. So that's good. Yeah, that is good. That is good. So this hash, when we run hash, is supposed to show us the list of commands that we've run. So before you guys before we got into this session, I was doing a few things in this terminal. So when I run hash, you will see the kind of commands that I've ran from the time I started this lab. So there is an mv command that I ran. There is a ck-sum command that I've run. There is a cp command that I ran, find, ls, clear, make directory, and touch. So these are the commands that I've run, and you can see here the number of times that I have run this command. These commands, these are the number of times that I've run this command. So what I want to do, let me see where that command is. There's a command that I want to use, an option that I want to use with the hash command to clear my hash table. So this is what I currently have in my hash table. So when I run hash, let's see if this will work, hash -r, hash -r, forget a specific, okay, yes, hash -r, enter. So what that is supposed to do, let me run hash again. What that is supposed to do, it's supposed to clear my hash table. You see, this was my hash table. This was what I had. But now when I run hash -r, it is supposed to clear this. It's clearing this. So right now we don't have anything in our hash table because I haven't ran any command. I've just cleared everything. Now, if I do, like, for example, ls, okay, you see, I've done ls. I hope you guys have seen. I've done ls, and then I do ls again, and then I do ls again. That is ls 3 times. And then now if I run a hash, what are we going to get? When I run a hash, you can see it is seeing that this is the command that I've just run, ls. How many times? 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Let me clear my screen. Let me clear my screen. And then let me do make directory. Landly. Let me do landly 3. I think I have landly somewhere. That's the directory that I've made, okay? When I do ls, see, so I have my files, including what I have just made right now called landly 3. And then now when I do hash again, you can now see ls, I've done ls 4 times, I've done clear 1 time, and I've used make directory 1 time. So this is how you use the hash command. This is how you use the hash command. So hash command, let us compare it with history. Thank you for that question, Salem. Let's compare it with history. So you see what history does, History shows everything that I did from the time I started, this lab, From the time I started this lab, right? Sorry. So right from present working directory, that was the first command that I ran, landly, cd to landly, that, all the way to where we are right now, including even the history itself. So what history does, history shows you everything, but now hash shows you what you currently have, because sooner when we ran hash -r, we deleted what we had first and forgot everything about that. So that one cleared the hash table. Now when you run it again, it now just shows you what you have. It just shows you what you have now, for now. But if for example, and again, another thing here is for history, it does not show you the number of times that you've run the command. Instead, it just lists the command. If you did ls, like if we did ls, it just shows you ls. You see, we did hash -r, hash, So if I do ls maratatu, it will not, here in your history, it will not show those 3 ls's. It will just show 1 ls, the way you see it here. But in the hash table, it shows you the number of times, and I'll put here the figure. Kama you've run the ls command 3 times, it shows you that. I hope that one makes sense, Salem. I hope that one makes sense. And thank you for the question. That was a good one. Thank you. All right. So that is what we say about the hash command. And as I've just told you, there are different options that you can use with the command. Remember when we were talking about the anatomy or the syntax of Linux commands, we said the Linux command comes with the Linux command in itself. The full command itself has the command, it has an option, and it has an argument. No. So the command is hash. The option, like the one that we've used, was -r, which empties the hash table, and then you can now put on an argument if an argument is needed, for example. You get? So again, I invite you to read through these notes. They are self-explanatory. They are the same things that we've talked about there. And I'm also inviting you to go and try out these other options and see how they work. These things, you will learn them best by doing. You learn them best by doing. Next command is the cksum command, or what we call the checksum command. So what the checksum command does, this one generates a checksum value for a file or stream of data. It is used to see whether the file was corrupted during transfer. Again, as a system administrator, one thing that you will be doing a lot, you will be moving files from maybe one system to another, or from one location to another, or from one path to another. And sometimes in the process of moving these files might be very, very sensitive, and they might be mission critical. Mission critical means that they are needed for critical functioning of your system. You understand? For critical functioning of your system. So you want to make sure that your files are the same. You want to make sure that if it was file this, user-data.txt, like what we are shown here, if it was user-data.txt and maybe you've moved it from, let me use Windows terminologies, you move it from downloads to desktop. You want to make sure that in the process of moving, in the process of moving a file from here to here, it helps you also in the process of moving, it is important for you to make sure that that file remains the same. It is not corrupted. It's not corrupted. Like an example, let me give you an example before I answer Gideon's question on the chat. An example, sometimes you download a file. Let me use the normal one, a zipped file. You download a zipped file in your computer, and then when you go and try to extract that zipped file, unapata error. Unapata error because there is something within that file that is missing. Something has been corrupted. Yani, the file you've downloaded is not the same file it is not the same file that you're looking for, because maybe myself hapa nimekutengenezea notes za class maybe za week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5 zote, then nimezizip. I've zipped them into a file, I've compressed them into a file, and then I've sent them to you. On my system, it is working very, very well. Najua, it is working. It is the files that I have used. Then I send you, and then you try to extract them on your end, and then it refuses. It means that something has changed between the time that you are transferring. That's from system to system. Now, as a sysadmin, it will not be me sending you a file. It will be you trying to move files within a system. And a system, we talk about a system, we are talking about one server or servers that are in a network. Or servers that are in a network. Maybe you're trying to move this file from here. Maybe there is this zipped file that you have made, and within this zipped file, or a program that you have made, and this program, you want to give it access maybe to people in HR. Now, the HR people are found within a corner of your system. Now, you want to make sure that this thing, you are now replicating it to them so that they can use it. Maybe you have this branch and this new HR team. You want them to use that particular thing, maybe even for the purposes of screening candidates. You have created something that can help them screen candidates. Now you are moving it there so that you install it in that area because you found it to be working in your main place, maybe in the HQ. Now you're moving it to a branch, to a branch location for guys to use, and then you discover that it is not working. Running checksum will help you to see if it is the same file, or if it is, or if something has changed, if something has changed within the value. And we will do an example for you guys just to understand how checksum works. Now, Gideon is asking an important question. Why would one need to know the number of times they run a command? Actually, it is not even about you knowing the number of times you have run the command. It is about you knowing the number of times a specific user has ran a given command, and not even just run that command, but the commands that they have run. Remember, I've been using this example, sysadmin. A system administrator has the responsibility to know Who is accessing the system and what are they doing in that system? So the answer, the simple answer I will give you here is for the purposes of audit and tracking. For the purposes of audit and tracking. The system that saizi tunaongelesha kuhusu Linux hapa. Nyinyi mnaona Linux as just something that you are firing on your machine and you're just running those commands there. For here it is easy. But now when you get into an organization, then this is a big organization, and then you are into umeweka kwa department ya nini? Umeweka kwa department ya let's say for example systems administration. So you will have to make sure that you are checking these things. These things are important. Kama kumekuwa na issue, let's say for example, you guys were working on something. You are working on something as a team, and then everything was working. Alafu ikafika time flani, system ika crash, ama things are now slow. You don't know what is up. You can also go back to that command and then check the hash table. Uone, by the way, if things were working, this one was run, this one was run, this one was run. And then from your own memory or even from your documentation, you can check and say, from the time we ran, let's say present working directory, that one was working well, make directory worked well, ls worked well, checksum worked well, we created this file worked well, and then now problems came when we created this folder. Now it also helps you to go back, and then see where the rain started beating you, and then now you can amend that. And I like what let me see, niko na chat on this other window, so msishtuke mkiona I am moving my vision from this side to this other side. I'm using two screens. So Priscilla anasema also it is very useful in database migration. I agree. Alafu Salem says sysadmins are so powerful and privileged. True, they are so powerful and privileged. But remember also something, with wanasemanga what? With privileges also comes responsibility. So kikiumana kwa organization, they are normally the first people to be asked questions. Like for instance, I think as late as last month, we had these two cases twingi to us, sijui people have hacked where, sijui which bank has been hacked, sijui pesa ilipotea wapi. So sysadmins, hao ndo wanakuanga like the first port of call. Hao ndo wanakuanga kwanza kuulizwa, by the way, nini li happen? What happened here? What happened here? So it is a privileged, it's a privileged position, but I believe you people, hata mkiingia kwa organizations, you're not only going to take your technical, you're not just going to take your technical prowess to the organization, but you will also bring with you the soft skills or the values, things like ethics, unaona? Things like ethics, honesty. Mkuwe tu na watu tu wenye mnafanya tu kazi yanyu tu vizuri. Don't allow greed to cloud the work that you do, the good work that you're supposed to do. Okay. So remember, hiyo time ingine pia tuliongea kuhusu insider threats. So those insider threats pia ni kazi ya sysadmin together with the security guys to work and prevent and protect the organization. Actually prevent that from happening and protect organization from such kind of harm. So that was good. I want us to do a checksum demonstration. And before we do that, let me just nini my lab. Restart that one. I really don't want to be kicked out. So, so let's clear this first. Then let's do ls. So when you do ls, you can see these are some of the folders that I created ahead of time. And of course, you know how to create a folder, make directory. So let us make directory for LANLI4. Oh, it is small letter. LANLI. LANLI4. Okay, so we have made that directory. Let's see. Tap, there goes ls. You see, so we have LANLI4 there. You can see LANLI4. So inside LANLI4, I'm going to cd into LANLI4. LANLI4, I've cd'd into LANLI4. So we are into LANLI4. When I ls here, you can see we don't have anything. So I'm going to create a file that I'm going to call readme.md. That's a markdown file. And I am going to create it with the v-editor. So see what I'm doing, vi-readme.md. You see vi-readme.md, enter. So it has opened for me my vi editor. So I will press I to insert. And then what I'm going to do is write something simple as this is a test file for demo. You see, something like that. And then I can also say, what else can I say? I can also say this. No. I can also say working with files in Linux. Those two. Then to save it, I'll press escape on my keyboard, and then I will finish shift : and then I will do WQ. WQ, it saves. Then I will press what? Enter. There goes. You see, vi readme.md. So we have a file called vi readme.md in that location. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another file again. I'm going to create another file called readme2.md. Okay. So I'm going to create that other file. It's also a markdown file. I'll press I to insert, and then I will write again, this is a test file for the demo. And then I will say nothing there. I'll not say anything there. Escape. I've created those two because I'll use them to demonstrate another concept in a few. So I've just said to create it early, WQ. So difference between WQ and Q apostrophe. What were VI? Someone tell us, what is the difference between using WQ and using Q exclamation mark? What is the difference? Somebody? Here it will be nice for us to hear someone talk.
WQ saves and exit. Well, Q just exits.
Good. So what I have come to learn myself is WQ saves and edits. That is true. What Q does, Q exclamation, what it does, it saves the file as is. Okay. Saves really. No. Let me just think of how I've used it myself. Let's say, for example, you have created a file by mistake. It does not save, it quits. Yes. It does not save. It does not save, it quits without saving. That is it. Thank you, Salem. That's exactly it. It quits without saving. So what happens here is sometimes you might have opened a wrong file in your terminal. You have opened a wrong file, and then you have started working on that file. And then just before you save, you remember, what, this is not the file I'm supposed to be working on. So for you to exit from the, for you to retain the file as was, like, let's say, for example, this file that we have created right now, I've started writing things on it. Then I remember I was supposed to write it on the first file, which was readme.md. What I will do, I'll just type Q and then that apostrophe. Not apostrophe, exclamation mark, Q exclamation mark. What it will do, it will save that file in its original, it will save it in its original form. In other words, it will not save the things that I've added. Haitaongeza whatever I've added in it. And you see that command is very important, and you will see mtaanza kuiona mkitumia labs, mtaanza kuona penye mtazitumia mkitumia labs. And some of these commands, you will not see them in the instructions, but they will come in handy. They'll come in handy when you're doing your troubleshooting, or when you enter into such a problem like I've just mentioned. You're working on a wrong file, and then you discover just before you save, you discover, and then you are able to go back. And yes, true. It is very useful for editing critical config files. Very important. So what were VI, WQ, na Q apostrophe, very important. So here we'll use WQ, enter, there you go. So we have those two files created inside our Lanly4 directory. I hope back hapo tuko pamoja. Kama tuko pamoja, thumbs up tafadhali. Kama tuko pamoja, thumbs up tafadhali. Sometimes I can be moving. Naweza kuwa najipeleka mbio na kumbe watu wamebaki kwa PWD. Good. So that is that. So let us go back to our notes and see what we were looking at. Where was that? So checksum. So for us to run the checksum, there's a reason why I had to create at least one of the files. For us to run a checksum, you will do cksum and then the file name. cksum and then the file name. So let us do that right now. So we are going to use, let me do ls again. And just for demonstration purposes, let me do hash so that you see what we were doing. See now, VI, we've run VI twice, we've run ls 8 times, we've run clear twice, we've run make directory twice. You see, so these are the commands. So let us clear this. Okay, and now let us run cksum l. One second. Oops, ls, let me see my files. Readme, sorry. So cksum, readme, I want to check readme.md, that one. So unaona checksum yake unapatiwa a number here. You see this? So if you had moved this readme to a different location, or if you had copied it to a different location, ideally it is supposed to have the same. It's supposed to have the same checksum. Let us try and what can we try to demonstrate that? Just trying to demonstrate it. Ngoja. cd ... So Landly ls. What do we have? We have Landly. That was Landly 4. Let me go to Landly 2. So I want to move that file, actually copy. I want to copy that file. No. Let me just cd to Landly 2. I want to check something. I want you to note this. First of all, note the checksum. Where is it? Where is my checksum? Yeah, note this checksum. That's the checksum for readme.md. So I'll go back to where I was. Sorry, I had already created another file there. So Landly 4. There goes ls. We have readme 2. Yes. So we will run checksum for readme2.md sasa. And you will see this one has a different checksum from the first one. You see, the first, the second. And if we still just run checksum for readme.md, so no, the checksum for readme.md does not change. You see, it does not change. So after we move to a different location, it is still supposed to read the same. So checksum, it helps you as a systems admin, for example, if you are moving a file from one system to another, it now helps you to make sure, unaweza check, by the way, these files are the same. And you get to this, mostly you run this when you have discovered that now you have a problem. Most of these commands actually come in when you are trying to check kama kulikuwa na issue. Maybe there was an issue. Maybe there is a file, as I explained before. There's a file that you had received. You have copied it, but it is not doing what it was doing in the origin, in its source. Penye ilikuwa mwanzoni, it's not doing what it was doing in its source hapa kwa destination. So you can check the checksum, and if the checksums are different and the file is the same, then that one will be a cause for further investigation. Yes. Yes, it verifies that the file was not tampered with during transmission. That is the work of checksum. That's exactly what it does, because again, when you get into security, for guys who do security, there is this type of attack that we call the man-in-the-middle attack. That, yes, you see, where you are sometimes the corruption that happens with a file, it can happen due to a system, or sometimes it can happen because someone in the middle hijacked the process, feed in some extra things kabla ikufikie. So woe unto you that you are trying to get this file that is important for your organization, then someone injects something in it, maybe it's a virus or something that will expose your system, or even create a backdoor into your system, and then ikufikie, and then when you're just installing it, and then you create a problem for your organization or for yourself. So it is important for you to check such things. So nasikia inaitwa checksum. So that is our next command. So the next command that we will move to, I hope that one makes Sense? Yes. If the value changes, if the value of the file changes, then that file is corrupted. Yes, that is the simplest explanation. That's the simplest explanation. It means exactly that. Now, unajua corruption of a file can happen through different things zenye tumesema tayari. Yes. So that is very, very important. So that is checksum. Again, just go through those notes and you will understand what we are talking about. And then the find command. So for the find command, what happens here? For the find command, this one, find command searches a designated directory for files that match specific criteria. So the same way that we search things, let's say uko kwa Windows and you're trying to search a given file. No, you're trying to find a given file. Maybe you have your class notes saved in a folder called Learnly classes, and maybe under Learnly you are doing different courses. You are doing different courses. By the way, for your information, Learnly does not only offer AWS Restart, it also offers HR and data analytics as courses. So let's say, for example, you have dedicated yourself, umesema mwaka huu, this year is your year to upskill, and you are into HR, and you know HR and data goes hand in hand, and then you get wind of a course called AWS Restart. You say you want to give yourself that extra skill that can make you stand out from the rest of the pack. So you have these 3 courses that you're doing. Now in your desktop, for example, you have created a folder called Learnly classes. Then inside it you have a subfolder called HR, and then you have another one called data analytics. Then you have another one called Restart. Then now you keep your notes organized. You keep your notes organized. So notes za class saizi, let's say for example it's week 1. Inside AWS Restart you have a subfolder called week 1. Inside week 1 you have 2 files. File ya kwanza ni ya morning session, file ya pili ni ya afternoon session. You have another file for your labs. You see, so that organization. And then you are seated here, you are trying to think, hiyo file nilikuwa nimeisave wapi, or hiyo CV nilikuwa nimeiweka wapi. Then you do a search, a general search. When you are running things, you do a general search, then you'll be able to find it, and it will actually show you the path to that file. The path to that file. So that is what we talk about when we are talking about the find command. So the find command helps you do that. Now, search, you can search by the following. The following can be your search criteria. You can use owner, file name, file size, or file modification date. And then you can specify which directories to search to narrow the scope. Same thing tunafanya kwa window. Unaweza sema I want to search it maybe kwa desktop, because you remember, if memory serves, unakumbuka vizuri that the last place that you saved it must be in desktop, ama kwa documents, ama kwa downloads, depending. Then can specify an action to take when the file is found. You can add that as an argument. What do you want to do? And the syntax is given. Find the directory to start from, the option, what to find. So for example, we have find in the directory home/student01. You find the name, you find a file called file a.txt. You try to find a file called file a.txt. So you've seen the process of creating a file. Then again, this notes mtajisomea tu, hiyo ina story mingi. And then find option, iko na hizi options. These options, you guys can try them out, like option -name, searches the file by name, the way we've said. iname, this one searches by file name but ignores the case. Haitataka kujua kama ulilem as Learnly with capital L or Learnly with small l. It still searches them. So it ignores the case. The case is uppercase or lowercase. And then username, it searches by file owner. Let's say, for example, the owner of the first file was Pat. The owner of the second of the second file was Fan. The owner of the third file was Basil. Ivo. So it can search using owner. And then it can also search by file type. File type, I had mentioned it in passing that we have a number of file types that we use. You can have a .txt file, you can have a .md file, you can have a .csv file, you can have, what else can you have? Yeah, you can have a .jpg file, a .png file, a .pdf file. Kuna mingi, there are so many extensions and many different types of file. So you can also search them by that. And those notes just speaks about that. So these are the things that you can do Yes, these are the things that you can do. All that hiyo ni hali ya kusoma. So I want to demonstrate how to use the find command. You can see hapa .jpg as a file. So I want to demonstrate, and this is what I was coming to. So everything that I've told you about the extensions, na nini, all that, ndo unaona kwa hizo notes zenye nimekuwa tu scroll through. Those notes just covers that. So I've just summarized it for you guys. So you can see here. So we are talking about the find command, such as the file system to display the files that you want to search for. You can search based on many criteria related to explain hapo juu, and then you can see from that window we are being shown that one so here the first thing you do, you create a directory called company A. Then inside company A, you are creating a file called myfile.csv. You see, myfile.csv. Then you can now find that file if you want, or you can find that file and any other file that has an extension of .csv. So this command here, this second line is find in company A. This is the command you are saying. You are telling it to find in company A, find files with any name. With the okay, when you output, you'll give me the file name. Find and give me the name of files. All the files, the asterisk means all the files that have an extension .csv. All the files that have an extension .csv. So you can see here an example. So inside here, inside company A, inside this, we have a directory called management, a subdirectory called management, and then this is the file .csv, sections.csv. Then again in the same a subdirectory called management, we have a file called promotions.csv. Then employees, we have schedules.csv. Then finance, we have salary.csv. You see all of that. So when you run find, now here max depth is 1, meaning that you want to find only one file, not more than one file. Na sasa, when you do that, what it will do, upon the user, if you are doing a max depth of 1, what will happen? How many files? Okay, which file will it choose to give you? It will give you file imekuwa listed as huku chini kabisa. Unaona? File imekuwa listed huku chini kabisa. So, according to this ordering, the way it has been ordered, this is the most recently created file. Ndio inakuanga chini in your terminal. It is the most recently created file. So if you do a max depth of 1, this max depth, it acts the same as na tail na head kuonyesha the first commands za juu na huku chini. But now if you're using the file command, you use the max depth, not tail, not head, max depth of 1. So come on, after max depth of 1, that is what you are getting. I have a concern if we were to create a new EC2 user on the lab instead of using the already, which was automatically the file exists on our instance. Good question. So what? Yeah. Good concern, Salem. So Salem is asking that he has a concern if we were to create a new EC2 instance on the lab instead of using the already created, which was already created in the lab, will the company A folder exist on our new instance? No, it will not. It will not exist, but that is not a biggie. That's not a big issue. What we will do, you will start by creating that folder. We will create the folder, and then we will touch and create the subdirectories. Okay, the subdirectory. So we'll create the directory. The subdirectory will do the Mac directory bado, and then we will touch to create the files. That's what I meant. We will touch to create the file so that all the files are there. So it is like we will just be replicating. Ni sawa na kwa mfano you are doing things in this direction, and then you discover that things are not working, but you cannot continue in that direction. So you will take whatever you had done and is working, because what has been done and is working is it is already provided for you. Those things have already been provisioned, like the company, the this. Good thing for that lab, the only thing that has been provided from AWS is actually just the instance. So our Jacob to zingine inside it mingi, it will be laborious for us to replicate. So it is easy for us to replicate the things in terms of just go there, we create the company, we create the departments are the subfolders, and then we touch and create those two how do you call these ones? Those two files. Salem, make sense? Good. Thank you, and thank you for being attentive. That was a very good question. That's a very, very good question. I hope watu wamesikia hapo. Now, in the process of you guys doing the labs, alafu mkwame mahali popote, talk to us pale WhatsApp. That's why we created those WhatsApp channels for us to talk when we are out of class. So kikwama, just talk, we will be able to assist. So that is that. And maybe let us go to our terminal and see if we can run find. So cd ... Let me go back one step. Let me clear. And let me do present working directory so that we get to see the directory where we are at. We are in this directory. You see, that's our directory. And then now what we want to do, we do ls. You see, we have lanlifondo ikona readme.md yenye tulikuwa tumecreate. So we will try and see if we can get ourselves there. So in order just kujisaidia, I'm going to cd into that so that I don't get to type a long thing. That one. Okay. So, nikiwa hapa, I don't think that I'm supposed to, let me see. Give me a second. Let me see. Because I'm already in this folder, let me just run this and try find readme.md. Imeipata directly. So I did not do the home, the entire path because I'm already here. So what if I do cd ... I go back to root, and then now because I already know where that one is, let us now try and do find. Find in the path of Lanli4 / what we are trying to find. We are trying to find now. Let us still find the same file, readme.md, and see if we are going to find it. There it is. So readme.md, you can see the path where it is. But now, yes. So it shows you the path plus the file itself. So the file has been found. So any other file you want to find, sometimes unaweza kuwa umekuja kwa nini. The reason why I started by first of all going all the way to Lanli4 where the file that I'm looking for is. Sometimes you might even come to a directory, and in that directory, don't be deceived. We are putting 2 files in a directory as an example. It's possible that in a directory you have hundreds of files and you want to search that specific directory. So you can still use the find command with the name of the file inside the directory that you suspect the file is. So that is how you use the find command, the long and the short of it. Hope that one makes sense. Find, tumeshika find. Kama tumeshika find, thumbs up tuone. Thumbs up ya find. Asante Basil, asante Clinton, asante Gideon, asante Fan. Good. Okay. I'm also looking at your chats in case there is a question. Then this other command, I believe it was mentioned in the previous class. So we are just going to look at it, key high overview. Give me a sec. I look at my notes, search for patterns of specific text within a file, supports regular expressions, regex for complex search patterns. Okay, so for grep command, this one searches the content of a file for a particular text pattern or string and displays each occurrence. Grep can also be used to search files in a directory. It provides options to control the search behavior and output. So the most important thing hapa yenye unafaa ujue na tutaona pale chini kutakuwa na table ya compare find na grep, because these two can confuse, and in some instances they can be used interchangeably, but not always, because they mean different things. So options, unaona hapa options, kwanza kwa syntax unaona grep, the text pattern that you want to search and where to search. Unaona grep and the text pattern you want to search and where to search. So let us see. Let me just start with this because I think this is easy. Where is it? Kwani, let me do this and see. Go huku chini. Oh. Good. So Let me, just a second, guys. So let me try. Where is my notes again? So grep. So it searches the content of a file for a particular text pattern. So let us try and see the easiest. Tuko wapi? CD. Let me go to LandLib4 where I have my README. LandLib4. There goes ls. You see, we have those 3 README files. And if you remember, in each one of them, the first line was this is a this is a test file for the demo, stuff like that. So I want to check for something specific in that file. So I can do grep. Let's try grep. Let me see. Grep. 1 second. Yeah, okay, cool. So we do grep and then we say demo. And then because I'm already in LandLib, so I will not need to specify my path because the file that I'm looking at is already here. So we look for that word in the readme.md. Let's see. You see, this is a test file for demo. No, it has been highlighted demo. So it is searching in that file that I've specified. What if I do the same grep, but now I'm checking for it in readme2. Okay, enter. You see, this is a test file for the demo. No, this is a test file for the demo. Same. So what if I look for it? I want to try this. This I've not tried before. So I want to look for it in readme2.md. Nataka kutafuta kwa zote mbili. Unaona? It comes and then it shows you both the files. So in readme.md, you get it here. In readme2.md, you get it here. You see, grep. Then let us change our search and do test again for the 2 of them. And I'll tell you why this command is important. You see now in readme.md, you see this is a test file for demo, and then this is a test file for the demo. You see that? So whatever you are looking for, you are able to get it using this. Now, this command is very, very important, especially when you are trying to check for specific keywords in your logs. Remember what I told you about logs? So logs ni immediately when your server is running, every event that is happening within that system is being recorded somewhere. There are different areas where it is recorded. Now, once you know the path where that issue is recorded, like what you see here, let me show you. Like what you see here, you see var log secure. Var log secure. That is where the logs the logs for your signing in. Let's say there is someone that was trying to sign into your system. So those ones, every time that they're trying to sign in, it's being written into that particular path. So you are looking specifically for a fail. Unatafuta a fail. So fail with its past tenses, with its tenses. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Joy. So with its tenses, so fail, failed. Zote zinakuwa labeled up. So you can see the instances, how many times somebody, for example, has been trying to log into the system and then it is failing, and then it is failing. And then you can also see who the person is. It was the sudo EC2 user at sudo. It's the EC2 user, and they tried using what? They tried using an elevated permission. Let me see. Did this one fail? Yeah. They tried using an elevated permission. So first time when they SSH'd, you see there was an error. So this one failed. Then the next bit, again, they tried, they failed. And then in this other instance, you see. So in this other instance, you're now trying to check. You're now trying to check for that fail command, and you see it is already here. Sasa chenye na happen hapa ni kitu moja. mostly ukikuwa when you are a sysadmin, your work haitakuwa tu ni kukaa hapo and you're just looking at logs. I told you that systems generates thousands of lines of logs, and you see these logs here, they have been generated and then they are now there zimesimama tu hapo. No, they keep being generated. You know, they keep being generated. That is why when we are talking to you guys about the head and the tail command, those are important, because what the head will show you, the first, the initial lines of log for you to check if you suspect that maybe the issue started there, or to check if that was successful. Then you'll be able to see the first lines. Then if you discover that it is now that this user is no longer able to, or this new user is not able to access the system, you can now run the tail command and now check the last 10 or the last number of outputs that you have specified for you to check. And now when you see fail, you are seeing fail because in your grep search term you use the word fail. The word fail. So don't worry about the difference between fail and grep. We will revisit, and actually we are revisiting right now. So find and grep comparison. So what are we being told? We are told that for find searches a file based on a given criteria, and grep searches file content for a given string or text pattern. String or text pattern. So string can be anything that is written. Like for example, we've used demo, and then we have also used test. Yes, we've used the demo, you've used test, and then in our screenshot example, you see they use the word fail. So it is searching for that. But now for find, we are trying to search files based on a given criteria. Criteria zile zenye tulikuwa tumezungumzia, the owner, the name of the file, the date that it was modified, etc. And then where are they used? For find, it is used to locate files. This is used to locate files, like the way I try to locate the readme.md files. And then for grep, it is used to find a string in a file. And this string in a file, you are trying to look at a pattern, or you are trying to look at a reason why the system is behaving the way it is behaving. So you can use a keyword. That keyword is what we call a string. And then outputs. For the find, it will return the file names. The file names like readme.md or readme2.md. Those are the file names that will be returned. And then for grep, it returns the occurrences of a search string. So our searched string, which was demo, it was returned. It was returned when we ran that. So the find and grep commands have one main difference. Find command is used to locate files. Yes, that might specify criteria, and grep command is used to find a string in a file. That is very, very important. Aha, good question. And the answer there is, let us see. The answer there is, let us see. Gideon, let us try and see. So you're asking what happens if we change our search to something that is not in the file. Let us see. So let us clear. Clear. And then let us use the directional keys. And then let us use a word like, Gideon, to party example of a word you want us to use. Any word you want us to use.
Patrick.
Boy, okay. I'm just going to use Pat, the short name of my name, Pat. So let us enter. You see, nothing happens because it is not there. We know that the grep command is supposed to give us an output. It is not a command that runs behind the system. Let us try another one. Because umenitaja acha pia mimi nikutaje. I hope that was Gideon. So Gidi. Let's see. I hope there's a space there. Enter. You see nothing. And then if we run our original test, so we want to see it giving us an output for us to know that it is running well. Gideon, hope you've been answered.
Yes.
Awesome. Who is this? Okay. So awesome. So that is cool. That is cool. Up to there, I hope tuko pamoja. So that is the difference between grep and find. So the diff command, this compares lines, files line by line and displays the difference. It's valuable for comparing two files. Output is called a diff. So for a diff, it compares two files. Actually, that is the reason why I created the two README files so that we can run this command. So it looks at the two commands and then it looks at the differences between them, as in what does, not command, it looks at two files side by side, and then it looks at differences line by line. No, it's called a diff command. You know, diff is for difference. So it looks at the difference. It compares the files line by line and displays the differences. Valuable for comparing two files. Output is called a diff. The output is called a diff. And how do you run it? You run it as diff, and then you put your file names there. So let us try that out. We are still at Learnly. So we clear that. Then we do diff. We have readme.md, and then we also have readme2.md. Okay. We have readme2.md. So you enter that, you see? So what it's doing, it is comparing and it is showing you the difference. So we have, this is a test file for demo in the first, but the second one we have, this is a test file for the demo. You see, this is a test file for demo, and this is a text file for the demo, you know, and then there is another one. There's another one that now it has an additional working with files in Linux when the other one is empty. You know, the other one is empty. So unaweza tumia hii again for the same purposes. Remember, these things that we are trying to demonstrate for you here, it is all used for audit, it's used for tracking, it's used for checking. Unaona? All that it is very, very important. All that is very, very important even for you. Have you seen how the diff nini is used? Thumbs up kama umeelewa diff. Hiyo ni kumention tu, hiyo hata inata story mingi. Hiyo haina story mingi. So tunawaombea mema watu wakitoka as you continue with your journey in the cloud, ujipate wewe ndio huyo systems administrator. Then you will remember these commands and you will use these commands. You will use these commands. So for the links, I told you Historia links, you guys will prepare the links by yourself because they are not relevant for our purpose right now. They're not relevant for our purpose right now. So you just go through it and demo and try them out, but they are not that important at this point. That is some advanced Linux stuff. tar command. We continue from diff, we go straight to tar. And again, tar and zip, those two, it's important for us to know the difference, but we will look at it tukiendelea. So, good, Gideon, yes. So, tulitumia command ya kwanza. So, Gideon is asking, meaning if you realize, just a second. Gideon, just a second. Someone is asking me a question. Wajakwama mahali kwa class. Just a second. I think we are good. Yeah, we are good. We are good. Yes, I like it. Gideon, endelea kuleta hizi maswali. Maswali kama hizi, these are very good questions. So, meaning, if you realize a file is corrupted using checksum, one can use diff to see the difference. Yes, you can. If the files have content, unaweza fungua na uone ndani yake. Maybe the first one ilikuwa na hii na ya pili ilikuwa na hii. Na sometimes when you open, utapata the first file that you open iko na clear text vile ilikuwa, na hii ingine because it's corrupted, maybe it's now gibberish or stuff like that. So that's a very good question. So no, these commands do not operate in isolation. They work together. They work together. So you'll mix and match them the way you see fit. Thank you for that question, Gideon. So grep na that one we've done. So let us move on and look at tar. The tar command. Before even we do that, let me check something here. Where is my lab? Kama kuna mtu ananifuata nikidemonstrate, restart your lab. Please restart your lab so that we don't get kicked out. Tar, gzip, and zip. Yes, yes, good. Tar, gzip, and zip. Maybe I can ask here. Let me ask here. Tuone. Let me just ask. By show of hand, yani kuinua mkono, who before this week had never used or heard of Linux before? Who before this week had never used or had, actually used, not had, hearing you might have heard, but used Linux before? Nani hakuwa ameitumia Linux before hii wiki ianze? Nataka kuona. Thank you, Purity, for that hand. Thank you, Felix. I feel you, Salem, and I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Hao ni watu wangapi? Watu watano. Clinton, I can see you hapo. Purity na kuona. Amy na kuona. Felix, yes. Clinton. Habakkuk. I can see you guys. Tutapeleka tu pole pole. And one thing I always say, is if you want to do a deep dive on anything, if you want to do a deep dive, let's say, for example, in the process of time, you discover that the most one of those paths that you want to take, those parts that you want to take and go deeper into it, maybe it's system administration or DevOps, or even you want to become a cloud developer. Actually, let me even make it more clear. Anybody that's entering cloud must have an intermediate level understanding. Not just a beginner. Okay, beginner ni ile nye maybe you know how to run the basic commands. But as you do the labs, you will see that apart from running those commands, now when you start now querying logs, that's now what we call intermediate. Querying logs, the way we are doing here, the way we are showing you guys that you can use these different types of commands. Because if we just wanted you to have the kidogo understanding of Linux, tungewaacha pale kwa LX, PWD, and CD. That would have been enough for an intro. But now that we've gone deeper and we've even looked at the likes of Akina checksum, hash, all those ones, they are now bringing you to that place of intermediate. Now, if you want to really build your understanding around intermediate and you are interested, there are courses, na niliwaambia, there are places that you guys can go to and just get a deeper understanding of these things. For example, umesema sasa mimi, I want to be a DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer, you'll have to move past even intermediate and go even deeper to advanced stuff. And there are courses, vile tu Salem ametuambia hapo, Linux in itself is actually what? It is actually a course. And let me show you guys as we just digress kidogo. Let me show you guys something as we digress kidogo. Just to reinforce chenye nani anasema na pia kuwapatia time hiyo nini sync hiyo what we have done so far is sync. I'm pulling this one from my secondary monitor just to show you guys what we were talking about. So this is the Linux Foundation, and the Linux Foundation, you can see that we have a course called Linux Foundation Certified IT Associate. That is a course in itself. No, it's a course in itself, and it's not cheap, $250. You see? Sometimes unapatanga foundation kama hii, maybe they're running a promo, or you can even land a scholarship. That's why we were telling you guys, mkue pale LinkedIn. because it is through LinkedIn that I personally have been able to land very, very many opportunities. The Terraform Associate that I did, I saw a group from Yaoundé. I think it was HashiCorp user group from Yaoundé. They were running a 30-day Terraform challenge, and I joined that challenge. And one of the promises they had is, if you finish the challenge, you will get a voucher. That voucher comes at a cost, but I got it for free because I managed to finish. And I finished and I certified as a Terraform Associate. So other courses that I've done, even the NIM, I've also done something on Kubernetes, KCNA, Kubernetes Cloud Native Administrator. Associate, Kubernetes Cloud Native Associate. Even that one, I learned about it from Andela in Yolcom Andika LinkedIn. So I hope we already presented to you guys the case of having a LinkedIn account, and don't just have it. Be visiting there, go there, and then follow different people, follow different pages, subscribe to different newsletters. And vile nimezungumzia newsletter, because we're not just teaching you guys for the sake of you guys cramming and passing exams, we're also preparing you for the workplace. One of the questions that you might get in your interview, unaweza ulizwa swali kama, how do you keep yourself updated with the happenings in your industry? We all agree that IT keeps changing. You know, IT keeps changing. Like, I normally like joking nasema, sisi DevOps engineer vile tuliingia DevOps the first time, tulikuwa na tools, tulikuwa na kina Terraform, Ansible, tulikuwa na all these other tools that we are trying to learn. Then, as you are learning, kidogo unasikia kuna AI zimekuja. Now, this AI, you are trying to see how AI fits into DevOps, kidogo unaanza kusikia, they are now agentic systems zenye zimekuja zenye zinaweza fanya vitu zenye DevOps engineer unafanya. So you just need to know how to prompt them properly. Kidogo when you're just trying to jump into agentic, to understand agentic, unasikia kuna these things that we call MCP servers. You know, MCP servers. Now, we are always on toes trying to catch up with what is happening. But it's beautiful because for you to be successful in this field, in IT specifically, and generally in life, for you to be successful, you have to be someone that is adaptable to change. We talked about change the other time, and we will talk about change towards the end of your course, and just helping you guys to align yourself, bring technical plus professional skills, soft skills, values, pamoja, you become a holistic person who stands out. So adaptability to change is actually demonstrated in those things that we are talking about, that you hear that these changes are happening in the industry, you follow. Another thing, apart from just subscribing to blogs, following people on LinkedIn, also look for communities. There are communities around. Unajua, look for communities that communities are professionals who are doing what you are doing. You know, if you're into security, there are different security communities. If you're into DevOps, there are different DevOps communities, like the Nairobi DevOps community is one of them. If you're looking for AWS, if you want to really get into AWS and even start making networks with other practitioners in the country and even out of the country, there are user groups. Unaona, there are user groups. Yes, Salem, Azure user group Kenya for Microsoft Azure. There's AWS user group here in Kenya. There are other groups that are also working together with AWS user group, like there's AWS AI ML user group. Unaona? And in the process of time, these ones are mentioning them in passing, but by week 6, by week 7, when you start doing those deep dives, we'll also start introducing you to these communities, giving you links to these communities so that you see, because these communities, what they do, and one thing that I really love, and by the way, before I forget, we'll be sending you an invite to join a very special talk. I think that talk is happening today, organized by Landly. There is those industry talks, wacha nikwambie, there's nothing as beautiful as not just learning, but also hearing from someone that is already in that industry that you aspire to go into. They tell you how, they tell you about their day. They tell you about what they do. Please mute, Mohammed. They tell you about what they do. They tell you about the challenges they face. They tell you how they broke into that. They tell you about the path they followed to get where they got. Unaona? They tell you how they got where they got. So all of that, yes, we will do our bit and we will try and bring some of these professionals in class, but you're also telling you that Pale Inje will also show you and tell you, by the way, there is this talk like the one that we've told you about Landly. Landly, they'll be talking about wale watu wa data, but hata si watu wa data peke yake, sisi sote, because hata kama ni wa DevOps, at some point you'll work with data. You understand? At some point, you'll work with data. We're solutions architect. At some point, you'll work with data. So getting to go into that will really, really help us. So Gideon anauliza, interested in DevOps, expound on MCP servers kidogo. I'm still researching on those, to be honest. I just know that they are model context protocols. That is what I know so far. But MCP servers are good. We will talk about them later. Wacha kwanza nifanye research yangu, then I'll share with you. There's a whole week. There's a week ukombele when we'll be talking about DevOps. Hoping that by the time we get there, we will also align the content that we are giving you with what is currently happening in the industry. And how it affects the job that you are doing. I like what Salem is saying. If God allows, after passing CCP, I will specialize with the DevOps engineering certificate. That's a very good dream. And yes, God has already allowed it. You see, he has given you an opportunity to be here in this class. Out of 2,000 plus, you've made it here. So you have started. And what I normally believe, ni God akianza kitu anamaliza. So if your dream is to become a DevOps engineer, keep that dream alive. And just follow the guide. And if you have questions in between to Ulize, we'll also show you the barabara to follow. You see, we'll also show you the barabara to follow. And it will be we'll be very happy to see you become a DevOps engineer. That will be very, very beautiful. Yes, so I digressed kidogo kwa pati yako ka career advice. I hope mmechukulia because nikawafundisha tu Linux tu peke yake tu Linux mtapata class ikika boring kidogo. So system administration, those are some of the certificates I was telling you about. Linux Foundation Certified IT, there's Linux Foundation Certified System Administration. That's a very important course, and personally I'm planning to do it at some point. It's quite pricey. So tunangoja ma discount, tunangoja hizo ma scholarship, na pia tuonekana tutapata hizo senti, then we can be able to do it. Then there is that CKA, which I'll also be doing at some point, and some others. So I was just showing you that to show you guys that what we are teaching you here, we are giving you something that you can always build on. Something that you can always build on. And you guys, you are so fortunate that you actually took this course. And I like Restart, because Restart, apart from just teaching you AWS, it is also teaching you these things. Now next week, I think next week we are doing networking. Then kuna time we'll start on networking at sometime next week. Then kuna time hapo mbele when you'll be doing programming. So kama hujaitumia Python before, ama kama hujaisikia Python before, by the way, Python si nyoka. Python is a programming language. So pun intended. So we will also be doing those things. But now back, I think that was a good break. That was a good break from these commands. We go back to tar command, the tar command. So when we talk about the tar command, I'll first check it too. There's a meme, because Joy shared a meme. Let me also share a meme, but sikumbuki kama ndaipata. It was actually a conversation that I saw on on LinkedIn. And this is how the conversation went. So you can either take it as a joke if it's funny and laugh, or if it is not funny, you can take it as a story. Okay, so inaenda hivi. So there was a caretaker. Let's call it caretaker Wanyonyi. Then there was this young software developer. This young junior DevOps engineer called, let me use Elfas. So Wanyonyi and Elfas, and then Elfas lives in a flat where Wanyonyi is the caretaker. Okay, where Wanyonyi is the caretaker, and then there is a landlord. Let me give Abby. Okay, landlady anajita Abby. So nimechange characters wangu. I have those 3 characters. So Wanyonyi calls Abby to explain to Abby. Anaambia Abby, ati hello boss, tuko na shida hapa kwa ploti. Unajua huyu kijana mdogo anaitwa Elfas. Elfas mimi namsikizanga tu. Nasikia kitoko amepiga simu, anasema ati anazungumzia kuhusu Python. Hii Python kitoko unasikia anaambia mtu ati anataka kumtumia kitu, lakini atatumia Python. So hapa kwa ploti ni kama hawa vijana wa siku hizi wameamua wanaweka nyoka kwa nyumba. Abby ni nani? Abby, out of panic and out of care for the other for the other tenants, anapigia Elfas simu. Anasema, kijana, naambiwa hapa na Wanyonyi that wewe unaweka nyoka kwa nyumba. Mimi nataka uhame nyumba yangu, because in my plot I have said specifically I don't allow pets of any type, even dogs are not allowed. Sasa wewe umeamua unaweka nyoka. Hii Python unafanyia nini kwa nyumba? Then Elfas in his defense anasema, ati alisikia tunaweka Python. No, the Python I have is not a snake. The Python I have is actually a programming, it's a programming language yenye natumia kufanya kazi. Ati ai wewe kijana, huonekanangi hata ukitoka kwa nyumba, unakaa tu kwa nyumba. Unakaa kwa nyumba ukilisha hiyo nyoka yako kijana, I don't want you in my house. I don't want you in my house. So because Elfas anajua lugha ya landlord, Elfas nani? Elfas anamwambia hebu ngoja kidogo. Elfas goes to his phone, copies the number of the landlord and pays the rent 6 months in advance. 6 months in advance. Abi ni nani? Abi anamuuliza, we kijana, umenitumia hii pesa yote, hii ni pesa ya, hiyo ni rent yangu kwa sababu mimi nafanya kazi kwa nyumba, nataka tu niko tu nimeclear ndo sasa niweze kufocus na kazi yangu. Anasema, hiyo kazi basi ni mzuri. Umesema unafanya nini? Software development. Nafanya software development. Hii mambo ya software, mambo ya computer. Kijana wangu aliniambia nataka kwenda kufanya computer. Then kidogo you hear now the conversation has turned because the landlady has seen that there is a potential in this field, anaanza kutafuta opportunities for the son that wants to go and do. Then anasema, kijana wangu ameitwa sijui aende university so and so aende afanye hii course ya computer science. Anamwambia badala aende huko, ajakani aende huko alafu na sasa akae hiyo time yote, si anaweza fanya hii course nyingine yenye mimi nilifanya iweze kumsaidia hata kama ataenda huko. And actually I have just remembered that conversation was used by Moringa, and Moringa was trying to tell guys that, yeah, good, yes, Justin, yes, it was that. Yes, it was one ad ya Moringa. They're trying to show that, like for example, back to the landlady. Landlady anasema ati, we kijana mdogo hivi, unafanyaje kazi saizi at software developer? Software developer wapi na we bado hata hujafika 22, hata hujamaliza hata 21, hujamaliza, you are yet to pass your 21st birthday. Then anaambiwa ni hii, the long and the short of it. Akamwambia hapana, mimi nilifanya a short course from Moringa which gave me these skills that I'm already using, and I'm actually able to afford the things that I can afford, including paying my rent in advance. Then the landlady, being the landlady that she is, finds a way to now connect her son to Elfas. Now Elfas become a mentor, and then courses zinaendelea hivyo hivyo. So you see these things that we use here at Python. Kuna mtu pale nje hata nimemwaga mtama, ningaza na kuuliza watu kama wameisikia Python, so nimeshawaambia, so wamesikia because they've heard it from me. But that was the joke. Kama ilikuwa funny, hebu cheka. Kama si funny, aka 2 thumbs up. Guy, ndasikia mbaya. I tried to deliver it as a joke. Sometimes it's difficult to retell a joke. It's very difficult to tell a joke. It just looks like a story. But anyway, that was good. Me, the first time I read it, I really laughed. I really laughed. It was a very clever way of advertising, because you see, even for ads, you need to write something that captures people's attention. Let me not convert this into class ya kufundisha watu digital marketing. Tar command. Twende tar sasa. Let me see where we are in our time. 11:36. That is good. So tar command. So when you're looking about the tar command, this one is normally used to bundle a collection of files into a single archive file for easier copying or downloading. Similar thing that you saw, what we did, we created in the landly4 directory, we created 2 README files. Maybe you have multiple files, and maybe even those files are now CSVs. And no, CSVs might have so many stuff. CSVs might have so many stuff. Or even an example, I believe Joy shared a link to the recordings that we have for the classes that we've had so far. So say you want to download all those files, and now you have downloaded the files as single files, and I believe they will be coming to you as .mpeg. Is it MPEG? Or files that zinachukuanga extension gani? Video files. Okay, whichever extension they take. Let us just use MPEG, for example. They come to you as .mpeg files, and then you discover maybe one of them is like this many MBs, another one this many MBs, another one this many MBs, and now you want to order them together so that you can copy them maybe even to your hard disk to save them for later. Now you want to copy them to your external hard disk. So you can bundle them. And after bundling them, then you will be able to either to download them or copy them to your hard disk. So what you create after you've bundled is what we call a tarball. Contents of an archive file can optionally be compressed. The command is also used to unbundle an archive file. So what they are saying is, you have a file that you've bundled, you can use the tar command. You use the tar command to bundle it. Then you can also use the same tar command to unbundle it. So to bundle and compress file 1, file 2, and file 3 into a file called tarball.tar, you will run the command tar-cvf tarball.tar, and then you add the files that you want to add to that archive. You see, to add to that archive. And I want us to try this command with our own files. Let us try the command just to make sure. WAPI lab. Let us restart our lab. I was once kicked out of the lab, and squeezy, I'm very, very cautious. I always restart, and our lab is ready. Good. Our lab is ready. So let's try. So we do our ls kama kawaida first of all to see what we have, and then they are telling us where is our note? Notes. Hiyo ni lab. Hapana, sio huko, ni huko. Siniambia nimepoteza my notes that nizitafuta, ndio hiyo. Yeah, good. Ni hapo. So the tar command. So let us try and run this here. So tunaambiwa to bundle, you will run tar -cvf, and then the name of the archive. We want to label that, so we will label it as readme.tar. That's what we want to label ours. Then we will have our readme ya kwanza.md and our other readme ya pili.md. I hope you can see that. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get when you press enter. So that's what they are saying. If we run ls, let's do ls. You see our tar file is here, readme.tar. Readme.tar. So then they are saying to unbundle, sorry for that. So they are saying to unbundle the file. To unbundle the file, we are going to use .xf and then the name of the tar file. So tar.xf. And remember, every command you're running, run in the right directory. Yeah? Always run it in the right directory. That's why you normally use pwd when we are starting to see which directory we are in. So if you do pwd here, it will tell you the directory we are in. We are in Lanlib4, and our readme.tar is in that same directory. So here we are going to do tar xf, and then the name of our archive, readme .tar. Sawa, readme.tar. So when we do readme.tar, vile tumefanya hapo, and we enter, then we do ls again. You'll see. So reason why you will not see these ones repeated is because you already have them. No, it's because you already have them. Let me see the output we expect. What output do we expect? So tar.file, we have already made it there. Remove rf documents, company and file. So why do we remove that tar? XF tar file, XF. So what did we do? Oh, good. I've understood what they're saying there. So maybe what we do, let us remove readme. Let us remove our files first. Again, that one .md, and then I'm also going to remove the other one .md. So ls, you see they've been removed. Then let us rerun rerun your command ya extract. We are now extracting or unbundling. enter. Then let us run ls. You see, there are our files. So now we removed them. We have unbundled this. Now we have them here. Now we have them here. You see, so this system is the same one that we do on Windows. It's the same one that we do on Windows. Let me see if I have something on my downloads for Windows. What are Windows? See an example here. See an example. Yeah. So let me take this. Let me take this and this. No, this and this, for example. And then say add to download.rar. Add to download.rar. When I click that, what will happen? It has been added to downloads.rar, which is here. So if I come to this downloads.rar and then I extract them here, you will see we have our downloads open. We have our two files, the same files that we did the same files that we compressed. So that's how you do it on Windows kutumia GUI. There's a question. Gideon, can the bundle file be opened with V and it contains the content of the two README files? No. You cannot open it with VI. Let me show you. I don't think you can open this one with VI. No. Oh. No. What it will show, it will just show you the files, but Sasa, the content. I thought you meant reading the content of the files. Like, this README had something that we wrote and this other one had something that we wrote. But if you just want to see the file itself, if you want to see what it has, as in file this, that one is possible. That one is possible because you're just seeing what? You're just seeing the file, but not the content of the individual files. Good one, Gideon. Good one, Gideon. So we go back, and because I don't want to change anything, I'll use Q. I have quit. Awesome. So that is the tar command. That's the tar command. Tar command is used for the following: file downloads, large number of files to copy or move, internet downloads, including software. Sawa. So these options again. What has happened to my notes? Give me a sec. Let me refresh. Okay, sorry for that. Kulikuwa na kahiccup kadogo. You're at page 21, I believe. Yeah, page 21. Cool. So, so I was telling you that I invite you also to try out these options. This one extracts the content of a file, that is -x. This one compresses the content of the tar. You see, this one specifies the name of the tar ball, and this one produces verbose output by showing file names while the tar ball is processed. While the tar ball is processed. So also try those ones out. At least we've done CVF, XF. I believe we've tried all these ones in their combination. So we look at gzip next. Gzip. This compresses or decompresses files, including tarballs. Examples: to compress a tarball, you do gzip sales-data.tar, for example. Then to decompress a tarball, you do gzip -d salesball.tar.gz. You see, now we have our .tar for the tarball and then the gz for the gzip. You see? So let us see an example here. So it is like you are compressing a file that has already been compressed, but you can also decompress that file that you have compressed. So let me see the support notes. Use the gzip command to compress or decompress files, including tarballs. Common with internet downloads, archiving log files, archiving all data, because this data can be so big. Unajua ukicompress inachukua less storage, less memory. Files can be both tarred and gzipped, and files that are created with gzip command have the .gz extension. That one I showed you. So in Ikama, you're compressing a file that has already been compressed. And in our example, for example, here, because I want us to run the gzip command, let me see where is it? Gzip. Okay, so an example is we already have our file here. Yeah, ndio hiyo. Sawa. ls clear first. ls. So readme.tar is our tar file. So let us run gzip on it and see what we are getting. Gzip readme.tar. Unaona it has picked it directly. Readme.tar. Then enter. Let us ls and see what we get. You see, now this has been added to tumeongezewa hii. So maybe you have multiple tar files and you want to compress them into one big file. You can do that. You can do that much easily. You know, you can do that much easily. Hapo hakuna hata story mingi. That's just it. That's just it. And then this command is common to most of us. Najua we have used zip and unzip. And this is where we will, I think, the next slide we'll be looking at the difference between zip and tar command. So the zip command is used as a compression tool. So the syntax is zip-r and then the folder name. The folder that you want to zip. To unzip, you use the unzip and then the folder name .zip. So let's say, for example, we make directory. Let me just make another directory here. We make directory, and then I call it my readmes. That's the name of our directory. And then we come here and do ls and see it. Iko hapo ndio my readmes. Then what I want to do, I want to copy, not move. I want to copy the two files, the readme.md and the readme, that other one, into my readmes. So I'll use the copy command, which Joy taught us. That one, .md, and then that one, .md. And then, because I'm moving them to my readmes. Let's see, okay. I'm not moving, I'm copying, ls. You see the files are still there, and then we have my readmes. So let us cd into my readmes, enter. Then when we ls, you can see the two files that we've copied are already inside there. Okay, they're already inside there. So we have that folder. We have that folder, and inside it we have these files. Now what I want to do, I'll cd back one step, and then I want to compress or zip the my readmes. This my readmes. But before I do that, let me also do another make directory. I'm going to create an empty directory and call it my readmes 2. Okay, ls, you can see them. There they are. Let us clear our screen. So what I want to do, I want to zip. I want to zip. Wait a minute. To zip. No. Let me try and zip that file. So I am going to say zip -r and then my readmes and the other. Let me try and see if we can do both of them. There you go. Okay, there you go. Then let us do ls. You see we have my readme.zip. You see, my readme.zip. And then let us try the same hack that Gideon asked the other time and see if we can have open v my readmes.zip. You see, imeongeza my readmes 2. Why has it not added my readme 1? Why has it not added my readme 1? I was expecting it to have both. Let's do this first and see. ama command ni kama it zips one file at a time, because here I'm seeing folder name moja.zip. But still, it's still okay. So let us take our zipped file, myreadme.zip, and then try and unzip it. Let us try and unzip it. myreadme. Okay, let us try and unzip it. So we will do unzip small letters, and then the folder name .zip ilikuwa ni myreadmes.zip. Enter. You see, archive, it has myreadmes.zip. You see? So that is what we are getting. That's what we are getting. So, of course, when a folder directory is zipped, you can use the recursion option -R to include the contents of its subdirectories. Kama ilikuwa na subdirectories, that is important. Then by default, the name of the created compressed file has an extension .zip. So remember those extensions. We have .tar, .gz, and .zip. So those are just important for your own consumption. Haya, majibu za Githeri. It's your time to also speak. Nimeongea sana. So is it possible to find the files that a specific user owns by using the find command? Yes or no? From what we've discussed, is it possible?
Yes.
Okay. Gideon umesema yes, we will know. Then number 2, which command bundles many files into one file? Which command bundles many files into one file?
Tar.
Tar. Okay, we will see. Kuna answers hapo chini. Then you've been asked to ensure that a file is transferred to another user with an absolute guarantee that it has not been damaged or altered in the transfer. How can you accomplish that task by using the information in this lesson? Utatumia nini? Somebody? Yes, Salem. Check some. Salem, utatuongelesha siku gani? Salem, umekuwa ukichat. Salem, iko poa kusikia sauti yako. Iko poa kusikia sauti yako. Iko poa kusikia sauti yako siku moja. But thank you so much for your engagement. Any engagement counts. That is a chat, they count. And thank you for being very active in our chats. Thank you. Unachangamsha daro. Check some. So let us see the answers we have. Yes, you can use the dash user option. You can use the dash user option. Up it was a yes or no answer. Then yes, again, the second answer is the tar command. Alafu vile Salem ametuambia, before transferring the file, run the checksum command. Run the checksum command. That one we talked about it. Someone please unmute and read this for us. The key takeaways. Mtu unmute atusome tafadhali. As I catch a breath.
Make it easier to work with files in Linux. You learn the following commands. Hash is used to see the history of programs and commands that are run from the command line. Okay, CKSUM or checksum verifies that the file has not changed. Find searches for files by using criteria such as the file name and the size and the owner. Grep searches the file's content for a text pattern. Diff is used to quickly see the difference between two files. Is it in? LN creates pointers to a given file. Tar bundles multiple files into one file. Zip compresses a file size. And you have the first one is the gzip, and then the second one is zip. Compresses the contents of a file, then unzip decompresses the contents of a file.
Okay, awesome. That's very good. So those are very good takeaways that you guys can engage with. So we welcome you also to re-engage with the content, and you will understand even more. So following this, we have our KC. We'll do the KC before we chungulia the lab, although nilishaonyesha lab vile inakaa, working with files. So this is the KC. So let us just look at the KC. So I'm going to share my screen because of time. Bashir, kindly mute. Ama kama uconnectia utuambie. Usichome. So, question 1. Which option can you use with the find command to run a command on searched files? Which option? Majibu tafadhali. Exec, eh? Basi la anasema ni exec. Mnakubaliana naye ni exec?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Nani amesema yes kwa nguvu hivyo? Justin, eh? So Justin na Basil tukidunda virtual ngotos for you, eh? Let's see. Chua? Correct. Good. Makofi. Very nice. Number 2. Mtu atusomea number 2.
A Linux administrator downloaded a file from the internet. The administrator believes that the file is corrupted. Which Linux command can the administrator use to check whether a file is corrupted? We have find grep, checksum, and diff.
Soni gani?
Checksum.
Good, good. Justin, nimeona Basil pia amejibu, Frank amejibu. Ladies, where are you at? Ladies, where are you at? That is correct. Question 3. A lady, please read this for us. A book class ikuwe participation from all of us. A lady, please read for us this one.
A Linux administrator must compare and display the outputs of two different files. Which Linux command can the administrator use to compare the file outputs?
Awesome.
Diff and find.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, answer ni gani, somebody? What is the answer? Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Clinton. Yes, wanasema ni diff. So let's see diff. Submit, correct. Awesome. Number 4, which statement about symbolic links is true? Najua we skipped this one though, imekuja kwa nini? Imekuja kwa KC. So, which statement is true about symbolic links? If a symbolic link, one sec. Anasema nini hapa? Just a second. Copy. Just a second, guys. One second. Yes, so. Yes. Ulikuwa nataka kutusomea? Tusomea kwa sababu ulikuwa umeanza.
Tu ni swali. Which KC is that? Ni namba ipi hiyo? KC namba?
Wacha ni kuangalilia ni kuambia tu saizi. Ni KC. Okay. KC zinanga numbers. KC iko tu na jina. Ni KC working with files.
Okay, thank you.
KC ni hiyo KC ya working with files. Just a second. That was good. Alafu pia the easiest way to find the cases and the labs that you're supposed to do, angalia tu chenye tumecover chini yake. The content imekuwa organized vizuri, you can easily see. You can easily see these ones. Don't worry, Felix. Hiyo ni case ya lab ya session ya Joy. We are going to do it after we are done with this. Acha kwanza tumalizane tu na hii kwanza. Ndio chenye nimefundisha bado ikuwe fresh, watu wakuwe na answers. Na atafutia hiyo answer ya hiyo swali. Ndio maana I'm taking a bit of some time. So, so which statement about symbolic links is true? If a symbolic link links to a file and the file is deleted, the link will still work. Symbolic links can't link to any directory. Symbolic links point to a hard link instead of the actual file. Symbolic link points to a file's inode. Symbolic link file points to a file's inode. So it is assumed, or rather we assume by the time we are doing this case, utakuwa umepitia content yote. So the reason why I skipped that bit is because this is some deeper level content. Let me find you the answer to that. Niwaokolea hapo. Niwaokolea hapo. Just a second. My system is slow. A bit slow. A bit slow. Yeah, it's loading. Click here. Well, that system is pretty slow. Let me see if I can get it on my phone. So who wants to take a guess? Who wants to take a guess on that? As I'm looking for the answers. I promise you, hapa patakuwa na virtual ngotos. Watu wamesikia virtual ngotos. People are so, hata naogopa ngotote ya virtual. Let me get you the answers. Na mahali tulikuwa tunaandika answers zetu za KC tukizifanya. I'm trying to get you that. So in KC Linux. So KC Linux. The topic is working with what? Working with files. So for the symbolic link, a statement that is true according to my restart notes is that symbolic links point to a hard link instead of the actual file. Symbolic link points to a hard link instead of an actual file. So when you get time to go through your notes, those notes have been made available for you for your own consumption to reinforce what we are teaching you. So let's submit and see that is correct. And then which option of the tar command enables a user to create a tar ball? We want to create a tar ball. Tutumia option gani? Is it A, B, C, or D? Which one? This one you should remember. It is fresh. Which option? Jameni. Why jameni? Nimeona. Oh, good. Yes. So, nimeona wengi mmechagua hiyo. Let us see kama ni cha ukwelo. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Gideon. Thank you, Sandra. And it's correct. And that's what we want to see. We want to see 100%. 100% is very, very good. So, kama hujafanya labs zako, please, during this long holiday that we are going into, make sure mmefanya labs zote. Make sure mmefanya KC zote. Unaona? Make sure mmefanya labs zote na mmefanya KC zote. Sawa, na ukikwama tuchat tu pale kwa WhatsApp, we will help you. We'll help you. Then, for the lab, what we said about the lab, let me go to the lab. Answer number 4. What is the question? Yeah, symbolic links. Tumesema the answer there ni, let me go back to it. Yeah, symbolic link, tulisema answer ni. Answer ni. Check kidogo. So symbolic link tulisema answer ni a symbolic link points to a hard link instead of the actual file. Unaona? It points to a hard link instead of the actual file. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Sandra.
Hello, Patrick.
Yes.
I was going through the lab and I had an issue with this function, or I can't understand what it does. I've sent it in the chat. CSV PZF. They want to create a backup.
Yes, that one creates a backup because we said one of the reasons why we compress files is because we want to move those files or copy them somewhere. And one of the ways to copy files is actually to create a file and maybe put it in the same location as a backup or take it to a different location as a backup, as a backup. But let me check what that one does.
Could you do like a demonstration? Because
these
I
commands.
was trying to do it and it wasn't working.
Just a second. Kuna mtu amesema kitu ukiongea?
Should we cram these commands zote?
No. Hapana. Hapa kuna kukram. And one thing that we've already told you, for this particular class, Linux is not coming in your CCP exams. But when you start working, even for organizations, you will not be expected to cram anything. You know, you'll not be expected to cram anything because we normally have things in organizations that were run books. Ama policy documents, technical documentation. This technical documentation zinakuonyesha kwa mfano the commonly used commands, na pia unaweza enda pia kwa Linux kwenyewe kwa Linux Foundation and get documentations on what you want to do. Unaona? All this nilizo tumewafundisha ziko hapo. Yeah, kuna hizo ma SOPs. You know? What is SOP in full by the Musembi? SOP ni nini in full? I'm trying to check for you that command.
Standard operating procedures.
Yes. Thank you. Awesome. Excuse me. Sorry. Good. So, I'm trying to research. Nione inaniambia hii inafanya nini kwanza. This is a Linux command that is used to create a compressed backup archive of a directory. In this case, it's creating a backup of company A. No, it's creating a backup of company A. So remember, kwa lab, the company A itself. I hope you guys are seeing my lab. Company A itself is like a main directory. Then it has subdirectories. Then some of these subdirectories have files. You know, have what? Have files. Okay. Sawa, noted. Kuna mtu amedrop from class because of power issues. That is noted. No. It is like the way Windows, you zip a file, we use tar to unzip them. Yes. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Joy. Watu wa Windows, sisi ni watu wa kuzip. Watu ya hizo systems zingine, mostly they use tar. Na mliona pia zip pia iko available and zip iko available. Yeah, stuff like that. So, remember that. Remember what we have said about this. A main directory with subdirectories, and then within the subdirectories, we have files. So you want to create this so that kama hata unataka kucopy, you copy and make sure that you've not left anything. Copy it into a zipped file. Then you can move that zipped file maybe kama ni kadogo to your hard disk for safekeeping or for transfer and copying to another system. Stuff like that, basically. Stuff like that. So, So, let me see. Now, I need to point this one out because the console that had been created for us ilikuwa na shida. What you guys must do once you have your instances running. Let me start my lab again, kwanza. So my lab is ready. So once you have your instance running, you've created your instance, you've SSH into it and it is running, you will need to create Hapa sasa tunataka sasa kuona sasa your prowess. And I believe this will be a very good practice event for you, eh? This will be a very, very good practice for you. Let me pull this. Then I come here. This will be a very good practice for you. Let me do clear. Okay. So cd ... Roger Token root. In my root, this is what I already have. Eh? So all of these other folders that you see here, I created them for the purposes of demonstration, automation of demonstration. So let us try remove RF. I'm going to remove RF using all of this. So that is Lanly 4. No, Lanly 2. Sorry, Lanly 3. No, Lanly 3 has a capital L. I made an error there when I was creating it. Then we have Lanly 4, right? Lanly 4. There goes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us do that. So when you do our LS, you see they have all been deleted. So we are left with company A. So if we do CD into company A, LS, you can see I already created my file.csv. So that my file.csv, does it feature in our instructions anywhere, or do I need to remove it? Let me remove it first. So remove my files.csv. Then when you ls, you can see we don't have anything inside that. So let me change these settings tena tu kidogo tu. I'm not going to do this lab for you guys. I just want to show you what to do. So that tukue nini moja, tukue at the same path. So I created this company A. So to create a directory, tayari tulishafundishwa na Joy, we use the make directory command. So we use the make directory command to create company A. So saizi we are into company A. If you do present working directory, what is showing you? It is showing you that our path is home, EC2 user, company A. That's where we are. Now ukiangalia hapa, this is where we are at. We are at this stage here. We are at this stage. If you want to go back here, you do cd ... It will take you back to home/EC2 user. Now, the next step we want to do is that we want to create. We want to create all of these subdirectories inside the company A directory. So this is our company A. To create these other directories, let me show you the shortest way to do it. So to create these directories, this is what we are going to do. You'll do make directory, okay? Then you will write, vile tu zimeandikwa hapo, employees space finance space HR space management. You get management. So after you do that, enter LS, you'll see there's only Z up. We have employees, we have finance, we have HR, and we have management. Don't worry that in this organogram or in this flow diagram tunaonyeshwa HR iko kadhaa. Hii inakuonyesha tu there is within HR there is nothing inside. Yani we have this that has this, but pia ndani we have just the folder itself. So let me try and see if I can create those ones. Ama kama itanipatia issue na jina. Let me just try. I'm not sure. Make directory HR with the same name. Wow. I cannot create it because it already exists. So hapa unaonyesha tu yote kwa sababu ndio ikwenye, okay, what they are trying to do, they want to explain to you what is in the explanation pale, that kuna pia penye haina file yoyote. So let's see. We already have our directories created. So you come here and ask yourself, what else do you want to see? Inside company A, first of all, we have our company A, that one is tick. Company A, we have employees. This is it here. That's the employees wako. Then forget about this first, we'll come back to it. Then inside company A, we have finance. You can see it there. Inside company A, we have HR. And then inside company A, we have IA. I have not seen IA, just create IA. Then inside company A, we have management. So IA, we are here to create IA. Let me just create it. Maybe we'll use it somewhere, though I call organogram, but make directory IA. So LS, those are the various subdirectories that we have. Then we clear. Now they are telling you that inside company A/employees, qua directory as employees, we need to have a file called schedule.csv. So what you'll do there, you'll just CD yourself into employees. I told you just type the first letter and tab, it will autocomplete. So we have CD'd into employees. You can see there. If you do your present working directory, you'll see we are in EC2 user /company A/employees. Sawa sawa. Then inside there, we can touch a file, touch to create a file, and the file is called schedule with capital S. Just name these files exactly schedules.csv. Yes, that one. Alafu, if you do your LS, you can see what we have. If you do your PWD, you see we are still in that same folder, but now we have our schedules.csv inside there. Upon kwa employees. So employees, we only had that one. Then now we go to finance. To get to finance, you can do cd ... takes us back to the root, to the main directory, a company, not root, company. Then here we can do cd finance. Okay. Then within finance, we are going to touch and create a folder. Not a folder, a file. Touch and create a file called salary.csv. You see that? Enter. There you go. LS, you can see we have it. Clear. Okay, we are back to the top. Again, since finance tuko tunafanyia moja, we are good. cd ... So we are back to company A. Now company A, we need to create company A/HR. So let us cd to HR first. Okay, there we are, tuko kwa HR. Inside the HR, we need to create two files. We have assessments.csv. Why is this CSV? I think that is an error. At assessments.csv and managers.csv. So what we'll do here, we will touch and create both files together. So the first file is assessments.csv space, and then the other one is managers.csv. So those two. Then we enter. So make sure capitalization, just name these things vile tu ziko hapo. Usikose. So after we've done that, when we ls, you'll see we have two files, assessments.csv and managers.csv. So that is done. Then IA, we've already created that. We go to management. So cd ... Then we do cd into management. Tuko management. Enter. So inside management, we are going to create two files. You see, two files. One of the files is called promotions.csv and sections.csv. So here, what we will do, we will do touch again. Touch and create promotions.csv and sections.csv. So once we've done that, enter. LS to confirm, we have those two created inside that path here, management. So those two are there. Then we will cd ... and go back. Then kwa root yetu, kwa our parent directory, which was company A, we are going to create a file called shared folders.csv. So Apple will just do touch shared capital F for folders.csv. Evo, enter. When you ls, you can see hapo kwa hiyo company A, we have the 5 subfolders, and then we have that file shared folders.csv kwa hiyo main directory. So this is how you bring yourself up to par up to par with what has already been provided for you. So you have to redo this one yourself because we are using an instance that we have provisioned ourselves, not the one that you are given. So hapo mmepatiwa what you're supposed to be doing, you know, mmepatiwa what you're supposed to be doing. So you run present working directory. Let's see this present working directory. It tells you where you are at, you see. So if we cd ... go back, clear that present working directory, you can see you are in home/EC2 user, the same that you see on screen as your output. Then to validate that company A folder exists after you've created it, that is, so what you'll do, you'll just come and write ls-r and then do the name of that company A, enter, and you can see company A exists. And in fact, ours inatuambia kila kitu enye unaona hapa. Everything that you can see here. You see we have company A, which has this. Then company A employee has its file. Company A finance has this. Company A HR has that all the way. All of that is there. I hope that one makes sense. Then to back up the file, ushapatiwa hii. This is where I was coming to because someone had asked that we try and demonstrate this. So let me copy this. Okay, just a second again. And come here. Kifinya mara mbili na jikopi mara mbili. That's a problem. Inafaa ishia wapi? tar css zip company a dot gz. Nimeona. Nimeona hapo inafaa kuishia. This is the problem, company A. I believe inafaa ishia hapo. Let's enter. Let's see. I think this was the error that you are getting. Ndio maana ulikuwa unaulizia. Let's see. In fact, let's clear so that we let's clear so that we see that error vizuri. Okay, so that is that. Let's run it. Same order cannot be used with -c. What cannot be used with -c? Tar, help, tar, usage for more information. Let me troubleshoot this. Resolve. Let's see. So anasema there is a problem with the order. The short option -s is the problem. In most version of tar, -s does not mean same order, but instead is invalid or interpreted differently depending on the system, on the Linux distros such as Amazon Linux. So we will have to remove that S because that is what is causing us problems. Justin, I think I agree. Let us try that to wonder what we'll get. So remember what I told you guys, these labs were created in 2020. So sometimes ukipata inakataa kufanya kitu, things might have changed. So there you go. When you run without S, you get that. So let's see what is the output. The output is exactly as you see here. The output is exactly as you see here. So ukifika kwa hii step ya lab, remember to remove that S in your command. Log backup, blah, blah, blah. That one I'm not going to touch it. Move the backup. That one I'm leaving it to you. And then you complete your lab. Once you've completed your lab, remember to submit before you do what? You submit before you end your lab. And make sure that you have scored 1 out of 1 in that lab. I hope that one makes sense. If you have followed, you've understood, and you feel confident that you can attempt it, let me see a thumbs up. If you have followed, you feel confident, and you feel that you can attempt it, let me see a thumbs up. Msikue hivyo, isikue Kevin peke yake. Thank you Daniel, thank you Kevin. Who else? Na waangalia, najaribu kuchungulia. Nani ana feel you can try it out? Hii nauliza tu for formality because you still have to try it out anyway. Elfas, I can see you. Na kumbuka mkifanya na mkikwama anywhere, just ask. We will be here to help you. We'll be here to help you. So guys, I've had fun in the class. At least I've refreshed my understanding of tar, gzip, zip, and zip. Naona hizo. Naona vile nazisema gzip, zip, and zip. Tar, hizo zote. So I hope you guys have also learned something. And that one marks the end of my delivery. So we'll be back in the afternoon where we'll be continuing. I believe I'll also be coming in the afternoon. I'll also be coming on in the afternoon. So till then, nice. So before tuende, nataka kuuliza Joy, uko area?
Yes, Patrick.
Yes, so somebody was asking about KC asubuhi. What do you think?
Wanaweza fanya tu.
Tuifanye kwa class. Sahi.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ndio ende lunch because it's a short one. Let's do it. Ndo mtu asiseme ati sijui what happened. So let's do that. Let me just go find it. Let me go find it. It was working with the Linux file system. KC ndio hii. So let's do this, KC. And guys, from my channel, wenye niliwaambia, I want to see your labs done. Please do your labs and your KCs. Special mention to the likes of Akina Sharon, Kina Elfas. You guys are doing very well. Tony, you are doing very well. You are up to par. You are up to par. You guys are doing very, very well. Keep up the good work. So guys, please do it because this is something that you must do for you to graduate, and it's being closely monitored. So question one. Question one. Tuko kwa swali ya kwanza. Which statements about Linux file system are true? Which statement about Linux file system are true? You need to choose two answers. Which statement about Linux file system are true? Is it file names are sensitive? File names can contain spaces. Extensions are automatically mapped to application. Extensions are optional, or multiple files with the same name can exist in a directory. So which two are true? A and D. 1, 2, 3. A and D. That is Kevin. Kevin anasema A and D. Do you guys agree? B, C, D. A, D. A, D. A, D. So, kama haufanyi case yako saizi, you can just take a screenshot and save it somewhere, and then you will refer. So, A and D. That is answer ya Kevin. Sioni mtu mwingine kaa anajibu. So, let's check if Kevin is right. Kevin is correct. Thank you, Kevin. That was awesome. Question 2. Which directory contains a user's personal files by default? Which directory contains a user's personal file by default? Hiyo nakani mboga mboga. Watu anajibu mbio. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Kevin. Home directory. Submit. That is correct. Then, which command displays the absolute path to the user's current location in the file system? Which one shows the absolute path to the user's current location in the file system? So now Justin D, Kevin D, Sandra D, Gail D, Elfas D, Amy D. So what am I D? Correct. Awesome. Number 4. Which command changes the current working directory to a different directory in Raisi? To a different directory. Is it make directory, change directory, remove, or move? The answer is change directory. Nice. Number 5. A system administrator must see a list of all files in the var.log directory in long format. Which command and option should the administrator use? Which one? ls-la. Nice. Correct. Awesome. So this is what we expect to see from your end. We expect to see you guys scoring 100. So unaona hizo vitu ni rahisi na tatu tumezifanya class. So mtu hafai kukwama. Sawa sawa. You're not supposed to be stuck anywhere. You're not supposed to be stuck anywhere. So we've done that KC and now we are good. So what's the time? It is 12:33. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we are going to release you guys for lunch. Tuonane saa 8 kamili so that we continue with our afternoon session. Thank you for being in class this morning. Joy, anything? Ama waende tu. Esther?
I'm okay. I'm okay. They can just go for lunch from my end. I don't know about Esther.
Sawa sawa. Cool, cool. Silence means we good. So so guys, yes, you can go for lunch. You can go for lunch. Tuonane in the afternoon session. See you. Enjoy your lunch.